let's watch the stream. Let's see what Total War has to say today. Curious question, Stim. What drew you into Warhammer? What's your favorite thing about it now that you know quite a bit about it? Oh, good question. What drew me into Warhammer? Holy shit, that was loud. Like most people, it was bricky videos. What drew me into it? I like how depressing it is. Okay, let me think about it. What actually do I like about Warhammer? What I like about Warhammer is I like... Holy, why is the music so loud? What the? Okay, my favorite part about Warhammer is I like how depressing it is. I like how dramatic it is, if that makes sense. It's very like, it's almost like theatrical, honestly. It's so unbelievable that it's fun. It's very over the top. It's a space opera. Yeah, I love that about it. I don't think I would like it if it was like just realistic space fighting, space war stuff. I like how over the top it is. I like how theatrical it is. I like how they keep the setting purposefully like unbelievably insanely dark and like unbelievable. It's enjoyable. I like how the Necrons were the things that got me into it, honestly, because I loved Trazyn and I loved the vibe of the Necrons, how they're just like super old, powerful space robots of death that are just like sleepy and kind of grumpy and they bicker. I love that about them. This is all a front. Stim likes big muscular man. Makes Stim feel small and dainty. I do like that too. That's why I like the lion. I like big strong men with big weapon that would blow up a planet for me. I do like that part of it. I do like that part of it. Tim just liked how Trazyn was sitting so sultry like that. He had his whole robusty out. Personally, don't like how dark it is sometimes. I love the overtopness. That's why I like AOS more. I like the darkness of it. I like my fantasy settings for fantasy stuff, but I think Warhammer to me is so... this is my mostly only experience with, like, sci-fi. I like how dark it is and grim it is. And I like how everyone is like just different shades of bad. And there's no like, in my eyes, there's no like main hero versus main villain. I like how it's kind of like ambiguous and gray. I also like how it's open to interpretation too. A lot of the times it makes it for a fun setting because you can really like build your own like legion and put yourself into the setting, which I like. I just like also like how over the top big the weapons are and the like titans are. Like it just feels so insane, which I like. I've been going down the Tzeentch rabbit hole and my head hurts. It's very like convoluted and like needlessly complicated, and I just like that. I don't know. I like that. I like big spikes and skulls on things and big weapons and swords and like how gory and like macabre it can be. I like that. I like how fucked up it can be. Macabre. I love it. Yeah, that's why I like it. It also retains how... I like how it retains its humor and the personality in it. I don't think I'd like it so much if it was just grimdark. Like, we have the orcs for, like, humor, you know? And they have, like, little squigs and things. Like, I like that it maintains that as well. That has, like, funny little guys in it still. Like the goblins and orcs. Squigs are the best. They're the best boys.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the very first... maybe last, we'll see.
It's starting! It's starting!
Total War Show and Tell. Some of you who've been around in the community for a while may remember the old What the Teams Are Working On blogs. We thought about doing one of those, and then we thought maybe we could do something a bit more
Now I need to turn it up.
So we're here to effectively do a live version of them.
Okay.
We've got about 7 sections of this stream. You'll see some stuff down below, but Warhammer 3 has separate sections for updates.
We got Medieval 3, Rome, Warhammer 3, Warhammer 40k community inbox.
Bashiva for Lords of the End Times. I'll say now, of anyone who's watched the Building Medieval 3 streams, you're going to see 2 very familiar faces very quickly. But that's kind of the vibe that we're going for here. So don't, if you've come here expecting to see cinematics or highly polished assets, 80% of this was recorded by me at my home computer. So you're going to see some sneak peeks. You're going to see a lot of in development, a lot of rough stuff. But
it says in the top, in case you can't see it, all content subject to change. Super professional.
We're not going for high quality CGI trailers here. You're going to see some real behind the scenes developer footage.
Excuse you.
And we're going to start off. We've got a lot to go through, so we are going to speed through. We're going to start off with Medieval 3. So I'm going to swap us over.
Yay! I'm excited for Medieval 3.
To our Medieval 3 section. Welcome. The only people who've really, apart from Roger, I guess, sat on these sofas. You're up first. Welcome to the show and tell.
Thank you
got
very
some
much.
stuff.
Thank
I
you.
can't
Yeah,
wait
good
for
to be
Medieval
here.
3.
For those, so obviously we've done some building Medieval 3 streams before. People in the audience may not know about that, but for those who haven't, or those who don't have a 2-month memory.
What's with all the Warhammer content creators using a single monitor or home laptop? I don't know, man, but you're onto it. Luton, Pancreas, who else? There's lots of people that do the single monitor thing. It's crazy. It's actually insane.
Who are you guys?
So I'm Pavel. I'm the game director on Medieval 3.
Hey everyone, my name is Leif. I'm the creative director on Medieval 3.
Fantastic. So I've spoken about the building Medieval 3 streams, but what have we shown so far in building
Hi, Zen.
Medieval 3?
So back in December, shortly after announce, we showed the campaign map for the first time, raw and unfiltered pre-production campaign, where we looked at some of the exciting new developments, like the building directly onto the map, as well as some other bits, and then we followed up with Siege, Siege Battle, just a month ago, I guess.
Yeah, and authoring of settlements, which is a big topic for us right now, and some of the new bits of Siege gameplay. Yeah,
that's right. And the plan is that we do that. You know, we drop the blog as well, recapping all of the conversations that we're having and the key topics from our forums. So please join the forums.
Is Medieval 2 still playable, or is it like super dated? Isn't it like over 20 years old or something? I never played a medieval game, but I feel like it's something I would like. I don't know how playable it is still though.
There'll be a link up at some point to join us in the community, and yeah, we're looking to keep doing that. Yeah, so
fantastic. Well, I'll ask one last question, then we'll fully dive in. So, what is the current development focus?
Don't make me feel. I'm sorry.
Well, one of the exciting things we started since our last live stream was
good.
really to start looking into our unit rosters.
Yep.
You know, we sometimes joke that we talk a lot about exciting features and new things and whatnot, but really, what a lot of our fans are caring the most about is the unit roster.
The unit roster.
So it was a great time to start looking into that in more detail. I'm not sure we ever mentioned it on stream, but one of the historical consultants we worked with last year is Professor Peter Wilson, who is an expert on the Holy Roman Empire, and we felt like, okay, this is one of the reasons why starting with the Holy Roman Empire is actually a good start. It's also, of course, a very interesting, let's say, melting pot. It's not the most straightforward roster to start with, so it was a good, let's say, first stab at it, and I guess we're going to talk about some of that detail today.
And just jump in, because actually some additional context for those that haven't maybe joined us on the Building Medieval live streams is that we are in pre-production. So this is still a phase where we are pre-producing the game. We are looking at which features can fit, what can work, how can it work, and building the rosters and designing the rosters and for the factions that.
What are the stages for building a game? Is pre-productions like they haven't started? Is pre-production just like the outline of it? Like they haven't started making much yet, or like I don't know. I don't even know how far along pre-production is. Like have they started making the game yet, or is it like the script and like the design ideas? It's like planning, drawing, drafting, timeline, scope. Oh, okay. Just figuring out stuff. It's the idea stage, concept and prototyping. Oh wow. Okay, so there's not going to be for a long time. The planning, pre-production. So there's planning, pre-production, production, testing, pre-launch, launch, and post-production. Oh, okay.
We want to feature in a game as part of that work. So yeah, just some context for those that maybe don't know where we are.
And I believe we'll be showing a little bit of roster from one of those factions, right?
Yep, we can start to just show sort of an overview. Don't worry, we'll talk more in detail about things, but
oh my god, we have the units
obviously
already.
it's a long process.
Unit ideas.
To really settle on the roster, and as Pat was saying, we were still very early, so there's a lot of disclaimers here that things will probably change in the upcoming future. It typically starts with sort of really the game design view on it, where we do a lot of research. Oscar, one of our most experienced battle designers in the franchise, is taking the helm on this roster specifically to really catch, let's say, the vibe of, okay, the Holy Roman Empire, if you think of the military formations of the time, like what are they really about?
Yeah.
And then we had a great opportunity recently to collaborate with Dr. Tobias Cackwell, who's a former curator of the Wallace collection and sort of a really established coryphée, is that a word?
I
English?
love knights, guys. I fucking love
a real
knights.
established expert.
Yeah,
coryphée
an
for the
expert,
German.
He's a
real
expert
expert
of armor.
14
yeah, exactly. Like a
C,
real
it
expert
says?
and
An accomplished jouster.
Yeah.
accomplished just
At
as
the
well.
bottom.
I will quickly interject.
Wait,
say,
they
Mr.
work with
Producer,
a
if you could
jouster?
turn down your headset
Oh, that's so cool. Like an actual real life jouster?
because we can hear it,
Yes.
and it is echoing onto the stream.
Yes.
Thank you.
Mr. Producer.
That's a little bit.
And one thing worth mentioning here as well, that throughout pre-production, we've already mentioned two historical experts that we're working with. This is part of our process where we, as we develop, as we pre-produce, as we look at different new topics, cultures, we reach out to various advisors and historical experts within various fields to help kind of cover whatever blind spots we may have or reinforce the kind of research that we're doing. So it's part of that process. So these will not be the only names that we will be talking about during these streams.
We're just now starting to reach out to some experts for more the Arabian Muslim cultures and factions we'll be looking at. So there's more to come there for sure.
Cool.
Fantastic. So, do you want to talk a little bit about this one? The next.
Toby is super fun. He's been in some reacts to medieval armor and game videos on YouTube, and now a Warhammer fan as a result. Wow, that's very cool. So he's like this time period expert, I guess, historical
Which
expert.
we have is a very big picture that we've tried to fit on the screen.
Yeah, let's go with the next one because I think one of the key things that I hope our community feels excited about is that we are moving away a little from, let's say, the old school view of a faction roster. One of the things we talked a lot about in the first stream was us making sure that the world feels lived in, that there's a realness to the world responding to your actions and you feel the consequences, right? And one of the things that always bothered me a little bit in the older games was that you would capture new territory and foreign lands and the units you recruit are still largely the same, right? One of the cool things in Rome 2 was the auxiliary system where you would capture
That's a lot of
Egypt and then you would
rectangles.
start fielding
Saying things I can't
Egyptian
read.
auxiliary units in your armies, and it felt really like, okay, it's the world is responding to my actions. There's strategic impact depending on what I conquer and when. It really influences the roster.
And as we've talked about this, this window to the world, this world feeling alive. The world is full of people. Population is a concept. We have cultures mixed. We wanted to find a way to represent that in a way that didn't feel too kind of contrived or.
Yeah.
I will say, so I can see people saying this isn't, they can't read it. They can't.
Yeah, that's on purpose.
They're not meant to.
You're not meant to read this.
Oh,
we'll
we're not
look at a
meant
few
to. It's
detailed units in a
secret
bit.
still.
This is you're meant to look at the colors. So
Ooh,
what the
colours.
colors are showing us here is everything that's red on the side. These are cultural units. That's one of the sort of major leaps we're taking with rosters here, where all the units in red are not technically part of the Holy Roman Empire roster. Any faction that captures territory with cultures that are part of these cultures would have access to these units. And because cultures can travel across the map, there's a lot of dynamism here where we'll talk about a Franconian unit in a bit. Like if you have access to Franconian culture, even playing as Poland, for example, you'd be able to have access to these units. And equally, me playing as the HRE, I might have access to these cultural units that are part of the, let's say, geography of these other realms.
Enhance.
You could pursue. You could
Give me your
encourage,
secrets.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What do your dragon eyes
then
see?
in yellow is possibly the most important part. These are the units unique to the Holy Roman Empire alone. Like no other faction ever has access to these units.
Or yellow? Okay.
And that's of course where we really lean into, let's say, the personality and the sort of the vibe of the
Remember,
Holy
Stim,
Roman
the Holy
Empire.
Roman Empire isn't just Rome. I do remember that. I do remember
trying
that.
If Mr. Producer could slightly turn down his headset a little bit more, we can still hear quite an echo. He can double check if it is his headset
I
and
don't
take
just
it off.
Sounds
talk over
like a
myself.
speaker somewhere, maybe.
Oh, I don't
It's
hear an
just,
echo.
Live and unplugged.
Yeah. We should also say there's a big forum post going
I hear a
live
slight
right
echo
now,
now.
or maybe after this,
Yep.
where there's a lot more detail about this. So
I think we
please-
have this image in high res as well, so you can see the detail of that. So if you can't read it now, don't
So
worry.
please check out that forum post. The last color I will call out is blue, which is what we call a faction block. So that's sort of a granularity layer a little bit below the faction where, say, you have the Duchy of Saxony breaking off the empire in revolt.
Duchies.
The blue units would be what that faction has access to. So that's sort of in the rough
It's giving me big
geography and
CK3
block
vibes.
of a certain faction to give a bit more read.
I never played the original Medieval 2, and I've only played a little bit of Rome, Total War Rome. So it seems like they're fleshing it out more, so it's more than just a strategy game, and it has more like, do you think RP events, if they're talking about like culture and things? I wonder.
Regional identity, right?
Yeah.
That if you have a revolt in France.
And
they will have different units than a
generational.
revolt in Germany, for example. The other bit you might see on this sheet are the little labels on the side in the top right corner. They're green, gray, and blue labels, and they are the population estates that these units are drawn from, something we will talk more about in the future, in a possible future live stream. There's some more info in that forum post as well, but that's really what kind of people do you need to recruit these units? Green is peasants, so that's your rural population.
You, chat, and you're green
gray
too.
is the townsfolk living in your cities, and blue
Stim
is, of
peasants,
course,
and you're green
the
too.
nobles, as you would expect.
So yeah, so do please check out the forum post that we're dropping. It's not like it will be, because it goes into a lot more detail on our approach to factions.
That's you, that little green
the roster designs,
rectangles.
the cultures, the
That's
influences,
you.
all of it. So it's a really, really comprehensive write-up of our approach.
Have we covered all the colours of the rainbow?
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay. So should we talk about a few specific units then?
Yeah.
Yay, specifics!
For all of those who are demanding
Cool,
we zoom in.
look at them!
Finally.
Finally, a bit closer zoom. So starting at the top
What's the
picture
difference
is,
between before and
unit
after?
we're currently calling Ministerialis. Actually quite interesting when we started to look into units across Europe. There was this trend of, let's say, non-noble knights. Of course, the British yeoman or English yeoman. In Iberia, it's the villain knights, and in the Holy Roman Empire, it was the Ministerialis, essentially a class of, let's say, non-noble, more wealthy townsfolk, urban townsfolk, or estate owners who would essentially work as knights in service of the empire.
Oh, that's cool.
And they're sort of a lighter version of the more classic knights.
Like a paid
And you can see here the
version
before and
of
after
knights.
is essentially our initial concepts on the left, and then on the right, after working with Tobias Capwell and his feedback, and of course, it's a little bit of a flex on our side here. How well we got it right.
Okay, I didn't realize real knights had beaky helmets. Look, he's got a beak. Beaky knights. I love this. I love this concept. That's really cool.
At the
We
beginning,
got to play Spot the Difference.
sort of the level of
Real
detail
life
of the
beaky.
feedback. His main point of feedback was the chaussées and that really the calves ought to be protected, and that's why on the right you should see essentially the calves being protected
Just
by
above
chainmail.
the-
Oh, the calves need
Like
to
the
be
squint, but
protected.
yes, it's there.
Yeah. And then below is the Constafflers. So that's a unit that we currently sort of see as unique to Franconian culture. And it's of course a topic we talk a lot about.
Oh,
Okay, what is
deflecting blows,
faction
yeah.
unique? What is cultural? But it really felt like sort of deeply rooted in the mercantile traditions of Franconian, the wealthy Franconian cities along the River Rhine and whatnot. And these are essentially a professional, almost like mercenary militia.
Yeah, you're right,
in
chat.
service
Mercenary.
of the rich patricians of these cities and protecting these towns, and occasionally being drafted into the armies of the empire. You can see quite a bit of change here.
Check out my sick kit bash. It's a yeoman with MK6 helmet.
that we did after the feedback from Toby, calling out that these helmets that wasn't really part of let's say the wealth that would be attributed to these units really is calling for better facial protection, and these iconic helmets that are quite, let's say, unique to the German fashion. With the facial visors and whatnot.
That's cool.
I've seen people trying to work out, especially in that top right one, what the differences are. And I know you called out the calves, but for me, it's the split between the legs.
That's a little an animation consideration.
Oh,
rather
the
than,
split
but
between the
yes.
legs.
And and also there's obviously the QR code on screen, so do please.
I believe that post is now live.
Fantastic. So so do follow that QR code, not just to see
my
the
head's
post
in the way.
that details our approach to rosters, but also just to join the community and see everything else that we're talking
There's
about.
And I think these
QR code.
Constafflers are a good
Click
example as
it.
well for like when you as another faction capture territory. Let's say you're playing as Poland, you capture parts of the HRE. That's really where you get some of the vibe of the local fashion across. Where one of the things we're really keen on is pronouncing regional fashion differences in armor. There's a great video by a YouTube channel, Lorica Design, I think it's called. Really highlighting like the
Did you get
fashion
the QR
differences
code,
between
chat?
Italian and German styles, and this is a great.
And that's what I love about this approach.
Took me to
because
gamer subs.
It's the replayability value as well. When you're playing maybe the same faction, you take it in a different way, interact with different cultures.
There's no
different
alerts on
regions,
this screen,
decide to
just so you
expand
know,
in a different way. you will have a different experience.
It took me to a smart website. Whoa.
I think it makes it feel far more, integrated part
Wrong
of the world.
QR code. Wrong QR code.
Kind of world.
I saw Medieval Kingdoms 1212 in the chat as well, saying that they'll have a think about have a consult with their team about the accuracy, but they thought it looked great there. Are we ready to show our third unit?
Yep.
So this is the last unit we have for the stream, and then we've got a couple of other little bits.
Big
it's an iconic unit.
In a full suit of armor.
Yeah, I mean, it's of course, the Imperial Knights of the Empire. Sort of the thing you look forward to the most, to finally recruiting. It's a little bit more elaborate in that forum post that these units are really having different equipment upgrades through the centuries that evolve.
Hold on, I'm in the way.
You're looking here at a more later era version of the Imperial Knights, showcasing some of the things that are talked about, like the iconic armor fashion within the German region, with the Kastenbrust, which was more pronounced on the left, and then after Toby's feedback, we built in a little more variation.
Ooh, I like their
slimmer
skirts.
Designs with these sort of these rifts, not rifts.
Rifts,
sort of
Ridges.
Ridges. Yeah, thank
Their
you.
breasts.
Contours,
plates.
downwards one. So, and I would expect that the heavy knights from the different geographies.
So they like smoothed out the chess pieces, basically. Oh, they're so this one has flowers, a flower knight. Very cool. Their tactical skirts.
Would really carry a lot of that regional fashion, and our goal is that they would look very different from heavy Italian knights, for example, or Iberian knights.
Something you mentioned, accuracy, something that's worth calling out as well. In the forum posts, we cover a little bit our approach. So how do we actually conduct the research? What are our we list some sources with regards to our research. So we kind of lift the veil a little bit on that.
So much like the Building Medieval 3 streams, if you want to get involved and talk more about what you've seen here, go to the forums. There's plenty of opportunity to. I think Life, you've written up a very, very long post detailing
exactly. And if you're curious, how did we arrive at these designs? Well, the process is there, the research, the references and sources.
So consider this the 20-minute section, the short version of our approach to rosters.
It's bothering me.
I think that it's also something that we
video
really
doesn't
look forward
fit
to some
perfectly
feedback
inside
and
the
thoughts
box.
in the community about this approach, moving away from the faction roster and more to almost like a regional roster, cultural rosters, if you will.
Dynamic rosters.
And of course, if there are any, let's say, cultural iconic formations that people definitely want to see, it's great to feedback on in the forums.
For sure.
As a streamer, these are things that I think about. These are things that I notice and I think about, and it's just bothering me. Chainmail tunic stim, not skirts. Right. The chainmail tunics. I like the yellow one. I like his leafy tunic. It's really cool. Very cool design.
So I think we're going to be moving on to questions now. There's one question I can see from the community, which was how many of the team working on Medieval 3
on
are
the round
very
shoes, you're
familiar
right.
with
That's
Medieval 2
cool.
and understand, why it's still considered so great.
I think we talked about this in the first stream,
I
right?
like
A lot of our team are,
both. I like
let's say,
pointy
big
and round
fans
shoes.
of the old games. Not many as
This helmet is giving me beekeeper vibes, though. That's an interesting helmet. It's different than the other ones. It's literally just, it doesn't have slit eyes. It's like a perforated mask. That's interesting. It's different than the other styles.
Two of us have. Nick and I have.
Nick and you. But definitely a lot of fans of
the visor's
Med 2
different. Yeah, that's what I
and
meant.
some other historical games, of course.
It's
and
a
lot of
colander knife.
let's say hobby historians. I think we mentioned this before
I
as well.
like it. I like it.
Oscar, he's definitely really invested into the era. Luke, of course, and a lot of others.
We
said,
have fans of Med 2 that played Med 2,
I think we all are,
before joining us. As well.
You joined me on my famous Let's Play where we failed Crusade on the last turn. Okay, so we're going to move on to some community questions just so we can keep. We've only got 2 minutes left, and we're definitely going to take them.
2 minutes.
We're going over time.
So you guys flagged this yesterday in that we wanted to start off answering one of the biggest questions from the last stream, which was what's the progress on ladders. We said we're going to give you in development rough footage.
Doesn't get rougher than this.
And we live up to our promises. So this is already even since the last stream, right?
This is hot off the press from yesterday. So you're seeing the iteration 0 of carried ladders, and it shows how early this is. But there we go. This is progress since last stream in terms of ladders.
I like it when they start to dance.
A big shout out to Elliot and Matteo who are currently working on this. And I think the sort of
Little go.
the stream is about what we're currently working on.
Well,
this is something everyone cares a lot about. We are just working on this, starting to work on this. Let's show where we're at.
Yeah.
If people are wondering, like, why is this such a big topic? There's of course lots of micro and macro challenges around ladders. Starting from the animation connection, like how they're holding it, how they're carrying it, how are entities starting to pick up the ladder.
Ladders are such a big deal.
Holding the ladder around various obstacles.
What happens if a unit gets attacked
Has
while
to
holding
be
the ladder? So
historically
it's not
accurate
necessarily
ladders
unknowns,
in my
but a lot of
medieval game,
nitty-gritty
okay?
stuff,
And
we have to work.
And this speaks to a common theme that you'll hear from us, and we've mentioned time and time again that this is we've had carried ladders in Medieval 2. That's a long time ago. We are rebuilding a lot of the core features from the ground up.
Cool! Look at
in Warcraft
the
Engine.
cathedral.
So
that
things
looks
that may
cool.
have existed in past Total Wars no longer do, and we have to re-engineer and rework them within the context of the new engine. These are challenging things.
They are. Well, so I'm going to fire at you
pretty.
then. We've got 5 questions, and then we'll wrap things up.
I want to... Never mind, I shouldn't say that, but I want to do things to that cathedral with my arm,
Some of these very quick.
the
will
medieval
you be
need.
keeping the debug cam that allows you to
Medieval
see inside
needs.
towers and keeps? Before you answer, I'll just caveat where these came from.
Yep.
We trawled through
sorry.
the last stream and the previous Building Medieval 3 stream.
I have a
We found
mighty
some
need.
of the most common questions from those. That's what I'm pitching at you guys. So, will you keep the debug camera that allows you to see inside towers and keeps, which is, I think, the camera
Holy
on
shit,
screen
that's a
right
lot
now.
of
Yes. So
ladders.
this isn't. Yeah, the intention is that this isn't a debug camera. This is the intention. We want to show you inside the towers.
Whoa!
And what we ship with will be a more refined version of what you're seeing here.
Yep.
So it's definitely our intent.
We
Don't
showed
let us
this,
see inside
internally
towers.
in
That's
a
kind of
larger
cool.
meeting a while ago, and one of our
I can actually watch in real time my units get stuck in towers. That's amazing.
directors and
Hell
writers
yeah.
came up and said, "Oh, this is so cool. This reminds me of the old medieval books as a child. Opening it up and seeing through. Right.
Yep.
This is exactly the vibe we're going for here, and ideally, visually, we could get some of that treatment where it feels like, okay, you're weaving away essentially a layer.
That
and you
is
look
cool. I
within,
do like
but,
those
the goal is
books.
to keep that view.
Yes, for sure.
It's like
next
The
up, I think
Sims
we have a question we saw
3/4
maybe
view.
once or twice. Are there any plans for naval battles?
Yes, this is definitely a topic that keeps coming up. It's something that we know that our fans are really
Naval
keen
battles, you
to have in the
say?
game. It's something that we absolutely would like to see in Medieval 3. So it's not really a question of if, more of a question of when.
Yeah.
As I mentioned previously, we are rebuilding a lot of the kind of features from the ground up. So naval battles, as we remember from Thrones, no longer exist in the engine. So it's something that we have to rebuild. And our focus currently is on the core of the experience. It's the land battle gameplay. It's the campaign gameplay. So at the point when sieges, of course, yeah. So at the point when naval can kind of stand up to those in terms of quality, then yes, they'll find a place, even if that means after release. But it is definitely something we'd like to see.
It's
in
a
Medieval.
map.
I guess it's as we've seen on the streams as they've been so far. There's a
I did play a naval battle in Total War Rome, and it was the jankiest, most ridiculous thing. Do you remember that? I'm intrigued to see how they're going to change naval battles.
focus on, if we're adding in a feature, it's to be intentional and have depth to it. We wouldn't want to add in loads of features at a shallow level. It's making sure the ones that we have really feel like a good
And this is what
simulation.
pre-production's all
Yeah,
about.
it was
It's looking at
peak,
all of
Jake.
these elements,
It was fun.
prioritizing them, seeing what
It made
what
no
kind
sense,
of combination
though.
of elements can we get done in the time to the quality that we intend. So this is what all of this is about.
So, a quicker answer maybe for the last 3. Not that those were long. More that
What country is that, Stim? Isn't it Spain? Maybe.
we've spoken a very long time
Got the
overall. Can you explain why it's mechanically so hard to path your units through narrow streets and what steps have been taken?
Let's go.
Well, it's
Geography,
sort of similar
hell
to
yeah.
ladders a little bit, where if you think about all of our entities, they essentially pathfind themselves, right?
Yeah.
So they have to synchronize
Spain.
among themselves.
They have collision, they have mass, they have animations that all have to interact with them, each other and everything else.
Yeah, and then you might have situations where, okay, it's getting attacked on one side, how are the other entities within that unit now pathing along that corner? So it's, again, more of an engineering and animation challenge that is just
Yeah, look at the little
takes time to
Spanish
work.
Yeah, it's
houses
resolving
with the red
interaction
tile.
of the entity collisions and the hard collisions of the environment, and doing that at scale with lots of entities. The tighter the gap, the trickier that is for the kind of systems to actually navigate in a way that
The
doesn't
other
cause
country is
mobbing or doesn't
Portugal.
cause any of this kind of these congestions that we've seen before. So it's definitely a technical challenge. we're making
Then-
good progress.
I will throw, I think, just one last question at you then, which is are you aiming for castle sieges alongside cities?
It's something that we're currently looking at, yes. So it's
They're
as with
looking
everything
at
else,
castle
it's
sieges. That would be
we
very
don't know if it's going to
cool.
work. It's something we'd like to investigate because obviously
I want to
castles are
siege a
thing.
castle
we're
so
looking- again,
bad.
it's all of those challenges of tight spaces and
The feminine urge to siege a castle. I really hope they can figure out how to siege castles because I want to siege a castle. I want to do it.
more all in one. So it's it's something that we're exploring. We're not sure if we can make it work yet, but it's definitely something we're looking at.
That being said, just this morning,
Yep.
we had a good design discussion actually around castle sieges,
Yep.
looking
Okay.
into, let's say, different versions of it. The goal here for us is really to make sure it's not just a small siege battle,
Yes. Yeah.
but there's a different sense of what the battle is about.
Yeah.
Like
It's
the
gotta
land
have its
battles
own.
are
Yeah.
all about the lines and the tree, and sieges are of course about the walls and the streets. How can we get sort of really a unique twist on the formula
That works in the context of the campaign
Yep.
and the armies that you field. So all of those things that we have to take into account. But again, that's the beauty of pre-production. We get to experiment with these things, and see what sticks.
They look like little
Fantastic.
ants.
Well, thank you both so much for coming on and talking through that. I have
That
one
looks
last
so
question
fun.
for you, which is a question I will be asking every single developer guest we
Yep.
have on. When will we be hearing from you next?
June. So
Oh,
look out for
okay,
a
that's
blog.
pretty soon, June.
We're prepping a blog that hopefully have some exciting stuff in there for everyone, and then we're looking to stream again, stream campaign, likely campaign in June.
Brilliant.
Cool.
Well, I'm going to throw up
Amazing.
a
I'm excited for
summary
Medieval
screen
3.
of everything we've just said. You'll see there's no camera here, so you two are free to skedaddle now. Thank you very much for coming
Thanks,
on.
everyone.
Thank you.
When
Skedaddle!
we come back, we're going to have a
Skedaddle,
new guest
Game Dev,
and a new
skedaddle.
topic of conversation. But as a summary there, you can see everything we've just discussed. This page is going to grow as we go through our topics. But in the meantime, as our new guest gets seated and avoids just the numerous hanging things we have from the ceiling, I'm going to ask if they're good.
Top community questions, Holy
They're
Roman
good to go?
Empire units,
Okay,
roster
let's
form.
move on to Rome 2.
Rome 2! Hey, I played Rome 2. I'm too big.
Welcome, Jack.
Hello.
This is maybe the... Oh, is the... Wow, we've solved the echo. The TV that we've been using had audio on.
Their TV had the sound on. That's really funny that was the echo.
speaking.
I can't believe we figured that out. I can't believe the audio was on. Welcome, Jack.
It's always something like
this was
that.
kind of the surprise of
Something
the announcement of this
that's
stream.
overlooked.
We've spoken before about we want to go back and update some of our historical titles. What is the aim? So I'm surprised. I guess it's you who's at least for Rome 2, if not more, heading up that initiative. What's the aim of going back and over these updates?
So, yeah, really fun. I have a new role within Creative Assembly of being the back catalogue product owner for Total War, which is very much managing all of our older historical titles, looking at opportunities with them, including, where possible, making updates.
Yeah.
The first of these
Damn,
is
that's a big
Rome
job.
2. And here, it's the goal of having a series of free updates to the game that improve battle
free
gameplay,
updates.
campaign gameplay, doing some visual improvements as well as some bug fixing. That
Wait, that's base. That's kind of cool. They're doing free updates for Rome 2, updating like visuals and everything.
I'm calling the Pantheon updates.
Yep.
That all come together as a nice big thing.
So this isn't going back and making a DLC, right? It's going back and it's providing gameplay updates, bug fixes.
Yeah, definitely some bug fixes in there. It's
Wonder
not
if they're
new
gonna
content.
update the naval
some
battles.
of the changes between the campaign will change some of the content there, but it's very much using the existing building blocks. There's no new units, no new factions, no new campaigns, no new DLC.
So we're
It's
refining
free
the game
content,
that's there, right?
Free improvements.
And I think maybe the
They
second
will
surprise
mess
for
up
people
mods.
then is
Well,
this isn't
I guess if they're doing a bunch of updates to the base game, some mods won't work. Yeah, I mean that's to be expected.
an update.
Yeah, it is multiple. So the way
Mars
this is
Battle,
planned is that it will
Venus
be
visuals,
a
Jupiter
public beta that
campaign.
grows over time before
Yeah.
fully releasing to everyone. So we'll start with Mars, with improvements to battle gameplay. This is covering things like making morale and flanking and terrain more important, improving the armor and damage formula, bug fixes.
Yeah.
Then Venus, which is on visuals, which will include updates to campaign textures, improving the lighting, water textures in campaign, a UI reskin inspired by the painted walls of Roman villas, and then finally Jupiter, which is chief of Roman gods, so it's the campaign gameplay. So big improvements there. Big focus is on making the gameplay systems remain relevant throughout the game. So, we're We know Rome 2, many players see it as quite easy after the initial 30-40 turns, so here it's about making sure that public order remains relevant throughout, replenishment remains relevant throughout, and that there's a greater sense of progression and challenge going forward. So improving building trees, making tech trees more impactful, lots of gameplay improvements there. And the aim is that we'll start with Mars as a public beta, and then after a period of time Venus will get added to it, then Jupiter, and then finally it will all go live for everyone as the Pantheon update.
Yeah. Okay. Jack, you're a very lovely, soft-spoken man. I'm not, so you may have to speak a little louder, just to match my level of constant noise. So,
not really a fan of this. Leave older titles as is and work on stuff. I think if it's optional, I think it's kind of a cool idea, because I feel like, at least for me, who's new to Total War, if I wanted to play Rome, it would be nice to play an updated version. If it's optional, it would kind of suck if it auto-updates. It says it's like a downloadable update, though. So
I've got 2 questions before we move. We're going to show some stuff, right? But how are you approaching mods? That's maybe the number one question I've seen.
Here it is,
from
the mod question.
When we announced this.
Absolutely. We know many people are playing mods on Rome 2. A lot of very popular mods out there. A lot of people get a lot of value out of them. We're well aware that coming back to the game, doing these big updates is going to cause problems with mod compatibility.
Yeah.
So first off, that long public beta and a single update, it means there is one occasion where the mods are being broken for everyone, because it will be big data changes.
Yeah.
But also that longer beta means more time as well for modders who are still active to get hold of the changes ahead of time, start preparing the mods to be updated. And then for mods, of course, they won't be updated because many mods have moved on, they're not active anymore. We're going to have a pre-Pantheon version of the game available as a beta once that update goes out. So if you've got an older mod you still want to play,
that's nice.
Go back to that older version of the game, play it for as long as you want.
So the game that exists today, you'll always be able to play.
Yeah.
So you don't have to update it
if you choose.
If you like your game with your mods,
or play the newer versions, and then modders who want to come and update, they have the opportunity to do so.
That's nice.
My last question then is, what depth are we going to be able to discuss today?
So today we're going to look at a brief snippet of each of the updates, focusing mostly on Mars, then a bit of Venus, then a bit of Jupiter. But there is a lot of lovely information now on the forums.
I think this helps with people. I think there's going to be more people discovering Total War now that they're doing the 40k game. I think this will help bring in and secure new people checking out their older titles, maybe. Like me. Literally me. I'm like their audience, part of their audience with this. If they're updating their older games, I'm more likely to check it out as coming into this from Warhammer. Is what I'm assuming they're trying to do to make it more appealing, because it is overwhelming getting into really old games as a new Total War player.
That is ready for people to dive into.
Fantastic.
As well.
So let's start off with Mars, right? So we're just going to cover a few bits from the update today, but as you just said, on that link you put up a whole
Stimpak the Exalted one.
Forum or a forum post? Or both?
Both. So there is now a Pantheon update section of the Rome Eras forum, where in that main one there's a long post detailing the overall purpose of the updates, like what the goal of them is.
That's true. If they were going to add another Rome game, it's going to be a long time, because they're quite busy with their current titles that they're releasing.
Why we're returning to Rome 2, and details of each of the different updates like Mars, Venus, Jupiter, and then there's sub forums for each of the different updates of Mars, Venus, Jupiter, where there's a little summary again of what's in them, and then a more detailed post in each area.
Yeah.
Which I'll come back to, because that's sort of what we're talking about today.
Yes, so battle is quite a difficult one for us to show visually. So you've spoken about flanking, morale, fatigue, damage, armor. This one, so what we've got here is unit spacing, right?
Yeah. So as part of improving battles, I wanted to look at how to improve readability as well and help with that recognition of units from a distance.
Yep.
So at the top is 3 Celtic units in the game right now. You've got Levy Freemen on the left, then Spear Warriors in the middle, Spear Nobles on the right. And the only unit you can really tell that's different is the Levy Freemen, because they're bare-chested. They stand out from distance. The Spear Warriors, Spear Nobles, you can't really tell them apart. So what's being done with the Pantheon updates is, across all different unit types, there is now sort of a basic, a standard, and elite variation in the spacing of the units. So you can see at the bottom, the Levy Freemen are very quite spaced out. They're much more varied in their spacing. The Spear Warriors are a bit mixed, and then the Spear Nobles are much more uniform in their positions. So just at a distance, you can more easily see, oh, those guys are a bit disorganised. They're probably some cheap chaff units. Oh, those guys, they're really organised. I should probably be worried about them. Just that extra bit of recognition at a distance.
Which is something we see in more modern Total War titles, right?
And also older ones as well, right? That was something that was in the original Rome. Whereas here it wasn't in Rome 2 at first, and now it can be done. It's something mods have done as well at times, but now bringing it into the main game.
So we can talk about damage formula if you're interested.
Yes, this is going to get
For those of you who love
slightly
charts.
technical. So
I do agree with that as a first-time Rome player. Holy heck, was it hard to see what my units were. But I also came from it as a Total War Warhammer player, and you can see immediately what your different units are. But going from Warhammer to Total War Rome, I'm like, holy shit, everyone looks the same. And I had to like squint and be like, what is this? Huh? What unit? Huh? What unit is that? If I'm just looking on the battlefield without clicking the unit card.
armor and damage. How it works right now is a little odd. So you look at something like melee attack versus melee defense, and it is a linear change.
Yeah.
As your melee defense goes up, chance
up.
of anyone hitting you goes down linearly. Armor, not really, as you can see from the chart. It sort of curves and tails off a bit.
Yeah.
Because there's two aspects to damage and armor. You've got base damage and you've got armor piercing damage. Base damage can be negated by armor, but armor piercing damage can't.
Yeah.
But the way armor negates damage is that you take the unit's damage armor value, so say it's got 60, and you do a dice roll between 0 and 60. And then whatever that value is, because it could be 0, it could be 60, it could be 12, it could be 38, you take that away from base damage. So sometimes you'll take off part of the unit's base damage, sometimes you get rid of all of it, sometimes you get rid of none. So it's quite varied. But then armor piercing damage doesn't get affected by armor at all, so there's always some base amount always going through. And that means you end up with that chart that, like, towards the end, as you get more and more armour, it's just getting a much greater range of what the armour is doing. So it's just not as nice and consistent that better armour gives you better protection.
I mean, the top chart looks more like a corrupt tax bracket rather than something understandable. So I guess we spoke about how hard it is to visualise battle changes, right? But
My brain doesn't work in graphs, chat. Wow, numbers.
I guess the vibe you're going for is that battles feel more authentically understandable.
Yes.
You've got
Don't
more
worry
armor,
about
you're going
it.
to take less damage, unless there's armor piercing.
That was
involved
so
and blah,
don't worry
blah,
about
blah.
it, kitten.
Whereas before, it's the systems underlying it actually weren't as predictable or as understandable as they felt.
Yeah, because we always like to have some randomness in our battles.
Don't worry about
just
it,
'cause,
kitten.
one
Number
thing
go
we've
up
always
and
tried
down.
to do is, like, even the basic peasant has a chance maybe to kill a king. So we allow a bit of randomness for that.
I love graphs.
We want it to be predictable randomness, as it were.
Yeah.
So with the
They're
changes,
making it more predictable.
it's twofold. So armor is no longer a straight numerical reduction to damage.
Sorry, just what are the axes here?
Oh, sorry. So down the left axis, I
Yeah.
can't remember which is the X and the Y. I should know that, but I don't. The left axis
Okay,
is
me too.
average damage done, and on the right is armor value. So you can see that as the armor goes up, it's a linear decrease in the after.
Oh yeah.
It's not exactly linear because
What
this is
what was this before then? Armor value and damage. Armor value gets to here, goes way down, and then goes up? Damage goes down at 40 armor, and then up? Here they're making it armor go up, damage go down. That makes sense to me. What was happening here then? Scaling quirks.
is based on 10
weird.
simulated damage rolls.
Right.
So there's a bit of randomness in
Right,
damage
yeah,
rolls. But if it was like, if you did enough rolls,
It
would be
perfect, yeah.
perfectly linear. So
Armor
what we've
piercing
done
made
is
it weird.
armor is now a modifier to damage. So
Yep.
let's take that 60 armor unit, right? Instead of it being a roll between 0 and 60, it rolls between half the armor and the full armor, so between 30 and 60. It then converts it into a multiplier to damage. So you roll the full 60, you're doing a 60% reduction to the base damage you're taking. If you roll 30, it's a 30% reduction. Nice and simple. So that means you get a nice linear increase, makes damage more relevant.
Yep.
Armor piercing damage now is also now affected by armor. So same thing, armor becomes a modifier, but here it's half the impact it has on regular base damage.
Yep.
So you get that 60% reduction to your base damage, it's only a 30% reduction to your armor piercing damage. So
Okay.
again, armor piercing still got a lot of use. And a lot of these values will also be possible for the modders to play about in the database, like
Yep.
what is the max reduction armor can have on damage. There's still a base damage value in there just to allow for those situations. And there's also some changes talking about the forum
Coding
post. in
spaghetti
addition to
means
this,
you
of
haven't
the
cooked enough.
addition of the critical hit system from
Yeah.
Thrones,
Which is
allow-
a really beloved system.
yeah, so it just allows that chance of like the arrow in the eye,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. So that even from the first volley, you're seeing regular soldiers dying, and then there's more predictable patterns of rate of casualty.
And I think that's where we're seeing some of the. It's not content, but some of the stuff
Basically, they're throwing out 1 to 10 rolls. I was getting that, but I was
coming
getting
in
that,
that's,
yeah.
like beloved
Roll
or
of the
favourite
dice.
features from more modern titles being able to come back into Rome 2 through stuff like that.
Yeah, because I think the important point to make as well is that the who's working on the updates is me.
Yeah.
It is a team of one.
It's just
so
him?
Rome 2 has one of its advantages is that
It's just
there are
one
many
guy
points
working
after
on
the fact
this?
can look at and bring back certain select changes, so critical hits from thrones.
Yeah.
Some of the
Did I
bug fixes we're doing in
misunderstand that?
battles are taken from Attila. With the visuals, you see stuff taken from other games. And it
As
really-
we will see momentarily.
yeah, so it really maximises what the impact I can have as a single
Yeah.
developer.
So, are there any other changes you'd want to talk about before we?
There's just one developer. He's got to have a team, right? But he's the lead, or is it just he's the team? He's the team. Oh my lord! To be fair, they're old games. Not much financial incentive to put more resources into it. Holy shit! He is John Total War. Many coffees sent to this man, please. So many coffees. Holy.
We wrap up Mars and we give a sneak peek of what the other two updates could look like.
Just to say that the real focus on Mars is about increasing the importance of tactics, terrain, and flanking, making it so that it's just that greater impact. You might see in titles like Shogun 2 or Attila or Three Kingdoms.
And those of you who, I think for me, the most I'm looking forward to, and we'll do another deep dive at some point in the future where we go through these more. But for me, flanking, I think, is the big one.
exactly.
When we did the Rome 2 stream and I flanked and Pav went, that does nothing.
Oh yeah! I had the exact same experience as Josh. Do you remember my first time playing Rome? And I was like so excited about flanking and it did nothing. It literally made no extra impact to flank.
I was like, why have I all this work? So it's going to be all that.
Yes,
for me,
please.
when I've read through the updates,
Add
because obviously
flanking.
we shared this already with some experienced players
Yeah.
and we got their feedback on it. They seemed very receptive. So thank you to everyone who participated in that.
Absolutely.
For me, I think it is things that I thought worked or were happening now will happen and now will work, which is fantastic.
I mean, to be fully honest, a lot of these are changes that I made in Emperor Edition that I'm now reverting or changing in different ways.
This
So,
guy actually
That's
did.
just time and learn.
it's
really.
time and learning.
That's
it's
Josh, the
refining it and
community
making it better.
manager.
So when are we next going to hear about Mars?
So Mars, there will be posts on the forums over the coming months going into details in various areas. So one already on the armor and damage changes. Next, possibly talking about changes to charge reflection or expert charge defense. But on stream, probably June, we're looking at.
June again, okay.
Things are going to be flexible in timing.
Brilliant. We're going to have a very sneak peek at Venus then, but
Yeah.
I will say next time we bring on a chart, I will make sure I don't crop out the axes. Okay, so this is Venus, and this is a taste of some of the visual improvements.
Yeah, so Venus, its main visual improvements are the UI reskin, which is not ready to be shown yet, and the campaign textures, lighting, and the seas as well. So when we go back to the before, you will see how Rome 2 is now. Where certainly some aspects hold up quite well, despite its age, but there's other bits like the water doesn't look great nowadays, some of the textures don't look great. With the lighting, the settlements, the characters can blend in a bit more. And now, brand new sea
it's
texture,
more realistic.
redone sea colour, brought back better textures from Troy and Pharaoh to the game, because we've got those lovely games to take advantage of. And I will note, they're the same resolution of textures, so they won't have any performance impact. The lighting's been changed just to give a more consistent feel, better contrast.
Helps the city stand
Yeah,
out as well.
Yeah,
I see
exactly.
that.
That's
It
one of the
looks
big ones.
nice.
Like one of
It
the things
looks
that I
nice.
like to do is look at the game in grayscale. Like what happens when you remove the colour? What stands out?
Yeah.
Because you want to make sure that the UI. This is without UI, so you can have UI labels highlighting things, but you still want the characters and the armies and the settlements to stand out even without that going on. Especially when I think we go from the after to the before, you can really
I
see
forgot
the
to add
difference.
a fade, and that not adding that fade really helps emphasise the difference,
it's
especially in the lighting. Any second.
Yeah, this is the awkward way.
There we go.
Yeah, you can see the difference.
All right.
Yeah.
So we've got, I think, about 5 minutes to talk through two more bits. So we're going to give a little preview of Jupiter.
Yes.
Jupiter's it looks to be quite
Jupiter's
expansive
a
on
campaign.
the campaign side.
Oh.
So even now we've got we're not going to go too deep into these, but we'll explain like the philosophy
I like
behind
the
them
after.
of the
I
two
like the
building
lighting.
trees, which up until today I've been calling
Change.
tech trees.
I like the
and
lighting
Jack has
change.
increasingly been patient with me. I've just said it over and over again.
Tech trees, okay.
So, building trees. The aim here is sort of basically going, Emperor Edition made some key changes to building trees, where prior to Emperor Edition, temples could only go up to level less than in major settlements and minor settlements. There were differences between major and minor settlements in other ways. There wasn't many choices, so it tried to equalise that out.
Yeah.
But this is basically going, we didn't go far enough in Emperor Edition.
Yeah.
So one of these, for example, would be the military trees, where currently, Rome 2, you have separate chains for recruitment and bonuses, which is fine, but it does mean that you need to choose different slots to do it, and because your training chain, the one that gives you more bonuses to your unit types, is a separate chain, you're not getting as much from it. So one of the things that's been done is combining the two and extending.
I did not like
so
having
see
to
that
pick.
Before it's up to level 4, now it's up to level 5. Important thing that barracks will do from now on is they will not just give you units, they'll give you recruitment slots, because I'm looking at reducing the base level recruitment slots. Like turn 1 as Rome at the moment, you get something like 7 units available at a time. It's a bit much. But it also give you army cap, because the army cap, agent cap, navy caps increases from Imperium are moving on to the building tree. So if you want more armies, build a barracks.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
That makes sense, right?
Yeah.
You've got to have something to train.
So as you go through this, the top 2 branches of this tree, you'll get different units. So it's got still the manipular barracks, the auxiliary one. So give you regular Roman units or auxiliary units. Some units will be moved from the barracks chain though to the main settlement, just to help the AI out. So it's got a bit more varied what you can recruit without even having a barracks available. And then if you want to, you can choose to specialise this chain more into buffing your units, the practice field. So it'll still give you your increased army cap, it'll still give you increased recruitment slots and the units you've got from that basic field of Mars. But then...
Dom, our TV's going to turn off.
No!
Now keep going. Not that one, not that one. That one.
That one.
Keep going.
And so the practice field will then give experience bonus to units, and it will give you champions, because this is where champion caps increase.
Yeah.
And then further you can choose to specialise into bonuses in different unit types. So range for ranged units, the horse corral for cavalry, and the practice castrum for melee infantry units. So that has decreased slightly in the variations, but I want to give it clearly ranged cavalry infantry bonuses.
Yeah.
So we'll look at one more set of these, and then I have seen some questions. I don't know if you have an answer. I've seen quite a few questions asking about
Before,
64-bit.
after. Wow, they really
Unfortunately not on the
streamlined
table.
it.
Like we know it's one people are looking for.
This stream has the same kind of energy as the Digital Extreme streams with the tech issues.
Would like, especially people who use mods where they're making more use of video memory.
It's better than the
but it's not
Warhammer
part
reveal
of the video
streams.
games.
I think they're doing a good job.
So what are we looking at here?
So this is one where
I feel like Josh is keeping it all
combined
spreading.
and then split. So
Feels like.
in the base game of Rome 2, when it launched, there was this city centre chain in major settlements that did both trade income and public order and entertainment and research and slaves in one.
Yeah.
And then for Emperor Edition, we said we added a town centre chain for minor settlements that gave some trade income and some public order and some entertainment. But they're both doing variations the same, and also that's a lot of different things for the city centre chain to do. So here it's combining and then splitting. So there is now a public forum chain and a market chain
I like
that are
this.
available in both major and minor settlements. So
I
big
like
change is that generally major minor settlements, they can build the same thing now.
Yeah.
Different number of slots, but same options. So the forum chain is all about entertainment, public order. So that top 2 ones, you've got Auditorium and an Odeon. Then it splits into one chain that specialises a bit more in income, one that specialises a bit more in public order. And this is the kind of branches you're going to see more, where bonuses remain throughout, but later branches sort of specialise in one or the other.
The slaves make me think of you, Stim Peasant.
Then you've
That's why
still
I
got
got
the library
excited.
chain as part of this, which gives you research and will give you dignitaries. That's where you can increase your dignitaries cap. And then separately, there's a market chain, which then splits into 3. So you've got a wine trader, which will require the wine resource and give you a lot of money, but might consume food. Not decided that yet. Then you've got the delicatessen chain that will give you a little bit of food, but a lot less income. And it's probably where spies will come from for the Romans.
Downgraded.
And then finally you've got a
No,
slave
you're
trader,
still
which will
peasant,
give
I'm
you
just saying.
slave income and keep the regular trade income from the lower
You can
branches
leave
as
it
well. So
any
it's all about,
time.
clearer options, clearer focus,
No, you can't.
more depth to the chains as well.
And
No,
that's
you
just
can't.
a taste. So these last sets were just more of a preview of some of the stuff. Once we've got Mars out, then we'll come back to Venus, back to Jupiter. We'll come talk to you more. But we wanted to give you guys a taste of just the
Warhammer 3 is
the
on
level
here.
of depth and detail that we're going into for all of these
Oh,
systems.
Like
duh,
with
Total
Jupiter,
War
if you go on
Warhammer
the
3.
forums now,
Holy shit, my
All
brain.
the other building chains, the
I got that confused with Warcraft 3 for some reason. Never mind.
Romans are on there already.
Fantastic. Well then, Jack,
gonna be
when will we hear from you
Nagash
next?
stuff?
So next will be on the forums with more posts in the run-up to in the coming months. Because there's not currently a defined
I know,
timescale for
wrong
when
company,
the first
wrong
of these
company.
betas will go
I
live.
got mixed up for
we
something.
It's going to be playing it by ear because a lot of it is being done by me, so it's taking when stuff is ready. But we're looking at a live stream in June to show Mars and
It's
probably
been a
hopefully
day.
battle gameplay live.
Fantastic. Well, I'm going to throw up the summary then. Hopefully. thank you very much for coming on, Jack. Really appreciate your time. Everyone loved your suit.
Yay, round 2 updates,
You
Jack.
are free to disappear, and if you can shake the mouse on that PC, we will move on from our next guests. You're sitting there, I think, and you're sitting there.
Yay, Total War Warhammer 3.
So on the screen now, you can see everything we've spoken about so far
gosh.
on stream. We're going to hope I'm right with where I just told you to
End
sit,
time
because these,
stuff.
I can't move these names. Okay, we all good? Right. Let's say hello. Hey, I was right. Hello, welcome.
Such is the
welcome to the stream.
power.
Let me get rid of that bit of paper. So, Rich and Sean, first time on the sofas. I mean, we've only done 3 streams of it, so you know, that's good. For anyone
Hello,
who doesn't
Rich
know
and
who
Sean.
you guys are, maybe Rich, you starting. Who are you, and what do
Who
you do
am
for
I?
Warhammer 3?
I've been here a while. I'm the game director for Total War Warhammer.
Yep.
I've been working on the series for the last 10 years.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And Sean?
I'm the associate design director. I've been on the series for a meager 8 years.
Oh,
Embarrassing.
pathetic.
Embarrassing. Apologies.
So we have 3 sections within this section. I did initially try and see if I could get it on that bottom bar, but it was
Bashiva.
that is graphic designed by me,
Lords of
so
the End
that is
Times.
the height of what I can achieve. So we're going to start by talking about updates to the game, and then we're going to talk about Bashiva,
Yep.
and then we're going to talk about Lords of the End Times. And I'm so consciously not trying to say the name of the person that will be revealed as part of that. Person, place,
Ooh,
or thing.
reveals.
Thank you. I'm
Exciting.
doing my best. So we're going to start talking about campaign.
Yeah.
I hope. There we go. So campaign AI update.
Yeah, we've been doing lots of updates to various things. On the campaign AI specifically, there's been some tooling going on in the background, so that's going to help us address some of the issues that players have been seeing around idling AI and clustering around settlements. So that will be coming very soon.
Yep. So we've tried to. We know that a lot of these things. So we'll be doing it again with the Siege update next. A lot of these things, the community are. We've explained a lot of what we're doing while we're doing it. We want to start giving you guys some dates and update numbers at least to be able to expect this in. So 8.1 is the aim for this.
That's right.
The key change
You're in
I
Tiger
wrote,
Man.
and that's the first time you're seeing it, which was me writing it based on notes. So AI priorities.
Yeah, they're
which
going to fix
have
the
I
idling.
misspelled?
Yeah.
They know it's been an
Yeah.
issue for a
I can
while.
explain.
Go for it.
So basically, over the course of the campaign,
Yeah.
we've now got the controls now to better ask the AI where to spend its focus. So in those longer campaigns, getting them to change up and prioritise other actions rather than sitting and amassing around
Okay,
settlements.
so that's like the clumping.
Yeah,
So in theory, they'll be slightly less defensive as time goes on,
that's right. That's the idea.
but
It's
defensive
all,
at first.
It's all dynamic. I mean,
Yeah.
we've always had personalities which sort of indicate what different factions want to do.
Yeah.
But that could lead, that makes total sense and looks great in the early game, and it all comes together nicely. And then over time, you might see that the decision making that made total sense earlier on,
Yeah.
no longer because of the sheer number of enemies or the
Yeah.
number of forces that they've got, or lots of factors, then starts to go, that looks a bit strange to us. And
Yeah.
that there's been some tweaks to make
Yeah.
it a bit more flexible.
Fantastic.
That's good.
Anything else we want to say about campaign, or I'll move on to...
So you can go to the next one.
So the long-awaited Siege update. We've spoken about a lot, but nice to finally put an update number on it. So 9.1.
Yay! Siege
At the moment, what update are we
rework!
on? 7 point
Something.
Whoa!
And so
Yes.
for people to help understand that, 8 will be, so we update
Oh,
the number
yes.
with a version, right?
That's
so
right.
Oh my
with a-
God,
with a
this is
release.
exciting,
So 8
actually.
would be
Bashiva.
Bashiva, and 9 would be
Lord of the End Times.
yes. So this will come the patch after Lord of the End Times, the campaign
Oh,
update.
so this is
coming.
wait. This is coming after Lord of the End Times. So this is like late summer. So we're getting Bashiva, End Times, and then we're getting a Siege rework.
Patch
Okay.
after Bashiva.
That's right. That's right.
So on screen I've just got
Look
some
at
ladders.
this. This looks
from
great.
some-
This looks great. This looks
These ladders I've
great.
left them to have a
It's
look at.
great bringing those back. I mean, well, I say bringing them back. It's kind of new for Warhammer. To me, it feels like bringing them back because experienced them in past Total War games that I've worked on. So they're going to be joining the fray for players to make use of.
Yeah.
Removing pocket ladders as the default setting, because we know they're not for everybody.
Yeah.
But the people that do like them, there's still going to be an option setting, so you can still
Okay, you
have
can
them
still
in the
have
game.
your pocket
So
ladders.
really down to you, what your preference is, and how you want to make use of sieging with ladders.
That's
Fantastic.
cool.
Sorry, I'm so easily distracted. Are there any other changes since the beta that people should be aware of?
there's a whole host of stuff going in, and like me and Sean were saying earlier, we've been spending the time really looking at what the fantasy we want to have for siege battles in the Warhammer setting.
Yeah.
Got 10 years worth of content now,
Yeah.
so there's all sorts of things that we'd love to play around with, and the betas obviously helped us look at some of that, and we've got some other ideas of our own. But we've been
the Zines one
specifically
looks great.
focusing on like gate improvements, like the damage dealt to them, making them feel like a solid thing to defend. Looking at
Is this the ladder update reveal stream? There's been 2 big ladder updates revealed so
and the damage
far.
output. We've been
true.
looking at things like siege attacker trait, which characters, creatures should have that, making sure that hordes are well supported.
Yeah.
Loads of bits and bobs.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that may not make it as well because it's cutting room floor style of we are trying things out. We want to try and push the boat out. I think we've said this before when we tried to do our larger reworks. Trying to make something that's objectively better for everyone is a bar that is hard to cross every time, and that's why it can take a bit more time to make sure that we go above that. There's lots of things that we're looking at as well that may not make it in. I don't know whether to talk about some of them, but we've spoke about can ethereal units go through walls? Is that something that we can support? And even just opening that question needs to go, well, if we want to do that, what's the technical cost of that? The way our walls are built was never built with that in mind.
No.
So it's a technical update. It's what would the implications of that be? Like, what happens if an ethereal unit dies inside a wall? What does that actually do to the game? All those things need to be thought all the way through, and then we make the decision of, do we go ahead with this and actually commit to it and resolve those issues? Is it worth doing? Because the fantasy of it would be incredible, but then there's the experience, and that's that objective, better experience bar that we have to cross. Of fantasy sounds great. If it doesn't help the game, though, should we invest in this? Is it going to cause more problems? So we're doing lots of stuff, trying lots of stuff, and hopefully, it all comes together at the most perfect, exciting version we can get.
Yeah, but there should be a nice grouping of content there for 9.1, and then like all things in the game,
working on a lot.
we always want to try and amend and improve.
Fantastic. Then, shall we move out of updates? I'll just say to Mr. Producer, if there's any opportunity to turn up the audio a little bit, even on the mixing decks, thank you. All right, so let's hope these all keep swiping nicely. There we go. So we're back. Logo at the top there. So this is we'll be talking about Bashiva. I'm going to give a little bit of a caveat before we go there, because I think the content from here on out for the rest of this stream is a little different. It's a lot more video-y with a few screenshots, but we are going to be showing some things and changes here in a bit of a vacuum. So I think we're going to talk about the ability all Tiger Warriors get, for example. So there's going to be things in a vacuum, and it may be that there's a particular ability or skill that will need further context for the players to really understand either the value of it or the usage of it, that we will try and give here, but we're not going to be able to do that for absolutely everything. There's only so much time on the stream and only so much time on the planet. So remember that everything you see here is subject to change, doesn't exist in isolation. As we all know, campaign buffs get layered on things. Enemy lords nerfs and debuffs on you get layered on. So everything has layers.
We get it.
And lastly, I did just want to throw out a massive thanks to the Warhammer licensing team. Everything from this part of the stream onwards, we've been doing in collaboration with them, and they've really been supportive in getting all of this ready. So,
give me the Tiger Man. Give me the Tiger Man.
Shall we show Bashiva?
Go on then.
I hope. I hope this is the button I'm going to press. Actually, the next thing I meant to show is Ferocious. If you want to talk about it first, or I think we've teased them if we don't show Bashiva now.
I feel like you.
Let's show Bashiva and then we'll go back.
I'm being teased! Just show me!
So there we go. That video is just starting from any point it wants, doesn't it? So this is Bashiva in battle. It will do
there he is.
at the end. A really cool set of animations.
Cool sword.
Yeah, she's brilliant. This has been such a pipe dream to have a character like her join the fray, come into the game, and she looks awesome. She's we'll talk about some of her abilities and stuff later on, but just to give you a bit of a background on like who she is.
Whoa! Okay, that's a cool animation.
She is the White Tiger, so that's a position held to both protect and command the Tiger Warriors. In great times of peril and when chaos looms large again.
That's
She's
cool.
also a mercenary lord, so she's one of the lords of Shangyang, and one of Zhao Ming's finest commanders. So she's got her own tiger company, which you'll see with some of the units in the pack. But she intersperses that with other Cathayan units as well. So she leads those
Wait, she
forward in
chokeslams
protecting
people?
caravans along the Ivory Road and the borders of Grand Cathay.
Oh, fantastic. And I've got so we will go through some of the abilities, both passive and active there. I got some of the stats up on screen. How would it feel? How does it feel to use Bashiva in battle then? What's the
Flaming
playstyle
attacks, fire
So
attacks.
her specifically is all about going after small entity units.
Yep.
She's quick, she's nimble, she's fast. She likes to stalk her prey. She's a big cat.
All the Noblars cheering, yay, big muscle tiger bomb. I can't unsee it now. I can't.
So yeah, you might. I don't know if you've seen. Yeah, there we go.
Yay!
She's also got this amazing ability to teleport around the battlefield with her Heaven's Gate.
Yep.
And so when she reappears, she strikes
Yeah,
and damages
please.
everybody around her, but she's super useful for obviously jumping into the fray, but also when she's in a tight spot, getting out of it too.
Yep.
That's really cool.
And we'll see some of those abilities. This was a far longer video than I remembered.
Yeah.
This is a really nice video because I didn't record this one. This is one of the few I didn't record. So that's why it's a much nicer quality than what we'll get into.
Her idle animation.
So we can see on the abilities on the side there. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Ferocious Ambush is what all Tiger Warriors are getting. I'm glad you said that because I've got it on its own in the next
Right.
section for us to talk about.
Okay.
So we can very quickly talk about Ferocious Ambush as just an expectation of that's what the Tiger Warriors will have. So what is Ferocious Ambush? What's the intent
Holy,
behind
look at the charge
ability?
speed.
I mean, the fantasy around all these characters is around that big cat field, stalking its prey, getting in, roughing people up.
Yeah.
So
She
it's very much
Newman.
kind of that Vanguard deployment, speed, charge bonuses, all those
Newman.
kind of different
Holy.
things. Sorry, not Vanguard deployment on this one, but but yeah, that kind of idea and identity to her and her.
Yeah, I think the big thing about tigers, or the literally big thing about tigers, is they are much bigger than people. You know, like a full head taller than a human. So we really wanted that impact of them on the charge to feel like you've been hit by a 9-foot big cat.
Yeah.
So you know the idea of Ferocious Ambush does lean into that. It increases their speed, increases their charge bonus, and gives them Devastating Flanker to push that charge bonus even further.
Yeah.
On a cooldown for balance reasons and all these things.
Yeah.
But it is really to capture that idea that when the Tigers charge in, it's a noticeable impact.
Yeah.
And
That's
in
cool.
the Cathay roster, which is much more rank and file with the humans that the Jade
They don't
Warriors
really
and
have
stuff
anything like
that
this.
stand and hold the line. The Tigers are charging in, they're hitting line, you'll see the impact, and that sometimes can win a battle. If you get that on the flank, you get that in the right position, that can win a flank sooner than you want to, and you can reposition around to capture the rest of the enemies.
They're like human-sized cavalry then in a rear-flanked charge.
I love
Yeah,
this. I'm obsessed
slightly
with
taller
this.
than
They're a bit
human-sized
bigger, yeah.
cavalry.
I love this.
Horse-sized cavalry, which I guess is
No.
cavalry.
Yeah.
That's quite the
Okay.
cooldown, 90
Oh, go on.
seconds.
Tier 2 and above as well.
Oh,
so,
there
yeah, there you go.
So we'll show off some of. I've got pictures of some of Bashiva's other abilities, just so people can get an idea of how she'll play in battle. I don't think any of these abilities.
Oh my god, I want that as a model too, Rin. That would be such a sick model. Heaven's Gate, Blades of Shang Yang, White Tiger, Master of the Hunt. Ooh, I can't wait.
These were actually used during that clip. So Heaven's Gate, obviously.
Yeah,
really
we saw that one.
But I think as well, some of those
That's
were just
the
her dynamic
teleportation.
animations in battle, where she is teleporting around. My favourite's when she grabs someone and then comes out the sky and slams them into the floor.
That's
So Heaven's
amazing.
Gate, is that kind
Tiger
of the main
Mommy
ability you
chokeslam.
expect to be using a lot as Bashiva?
That's a quest item, right?
Yeah.
So that's the one you want to go and get, and
Yeah.
it gives you that teleportation element. Very cool.
Yeah, I think that's her most iconic piece of her kit. So I think, as we mentioned earlier, if you want to pick an engagement, or there's a caster hiding behind enemy lines that I have to take out, that gives a way to get to
Wow.
that caster.
Yeah.
If Bashiva catches herself in an awkward position,
I wonder, I can't wait to playtest eventually, but I wonder how much they're going to have to balance this after, because it seems insanely strong.
and after leading the Tiger Warriors into a big charge and she's actually starting to get singled out, she also has a way to remove herself from danger there.
Yeah.
So it's quite a flexible item in her kit, and is a lot of the identity built around that also because of the teleportation that she has, Stalk, she could remove herself, go hidden again, and then disappear. So she's got a very powerful ability there to, like a tiger, go in, hit it where it hurts, disappear into the grass again. And you're not sure when you're going to get hit a second time.
I would take your word. I've not fought a tiger. Not for a long
You've
time.
not?
So I'll have to take your word for it.
Always fighting how many versions of you and a bear. That's the classic. Yeah.
I wouldn't be one version of me. So Blades of
Reveal
Shenyang as well.
units, affects enemies in range, all.
Cool unit there, putting flammable on.
Master of the Hunt. Hold on a second. Range 50 meters. Effect range. No range for the effect. Whoa.
Any of the other abilities? I mean, obviously the community will pour over these in their own time. But if there's anything you'd particularly want to call out,
I'm sure they will pour over it. But I mean, the flammable. If people remember on a previous slide, she has flaming attacks by default as well. So the flammable for her is also just like another damage buff on top for her personally getting involved. But if you've got other flaming units along in the army, that flammable means that it's a damage bonus for her, but also an opportunity for you to synergize that with some flaming units at the same time. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well then,
there is one more.
Oh.
I've just checked the notes. Hidden Huntress.
Oh yeah.
So there's a
hidden. It didn't even make it on the screen.
There's a fifth.
It's
Is another
off
one?
screen.
And that is her starting ability. So that's going to help with that kind of stalking stance.
Yeah.
Oh, she has a
And
stalk
again,
ability
provide
too?
buffs in and around that. So she's got a
Oh,
lot of
wait,
kit.
there's
Yes,
more,
and
chat.
also you point out it's exactly what I'm saying. We've got a lot of the stuff. I've tried to capture as much as I can. Someone said these are they're just screenshots from in game. They are. I booted up the game and I took the screenshots. I told you guys this is going to be. We're really trying to show you what we're working on rather than the most polished version. But yes, that's a really good call out of. There's other stuff going on, but we wanted to give you guys some of the highlights.
Gene
of
Ambush's
stuff.
default like scaven.
Speaking of, shall we move on to the legendary hero Free LC?
Oh, big reveal, right?
Free
It is.
LC?
I've worked so long on
Is that
this
what he
stream
said?
that
Free?
just saying the names all come out naturally now. So I'm glad I didn't say that we have. I don't even think the name's on screen now that I've said that. Oh yeah, there we go. Tawan the Merciless.
Yeah. There you go.
Ooh.
You looked at us to confirm that's how you pronounce it.
I did. I don't actually know if I've said that out lout. So we've got Tawan here. So legendary hero joining the Cathay
Tawan the
roster.
Merciless.
All Cathay factions can make use of her.
Yeah.
But she does have that synergy, particularly
Armored
with
anti-large
Bashiva
damage dealer.
and also Zhao Ming. So the background on Tawan is that she's an exiled warrior, and the reason why she was exiled to the Western provinces is that she's pretty brutal and has a bit of an
Merciless, you could say.
in what she does. So when rebellions uprose in the central provinces, the way she went about doing things wasn't so well liked by some,
she's
so
cool.
she was exiled out to the west, and now she is one of the lords of Shenyang, operating for Xiaoming, and she's very cunning. She's a great fighter, anything large, so you'll see her taking on things like ogres with her.
She likes some
Tal-
large.
First trident wielder.
Oh, Albrecht.
Albrecht as well.
Oh,
Right,
there we go.
that's-
Should have ran that past us first.
We're
mate.
off now. Yeah.
Exiled for brutality, right up Stim's alley. And she's anti-large. She likes some
Also,
large.
great anti-large
I
character
love her.
fighting Noblars
I love
in
her.
this
Hey,
video here.
I actually that's what the feedback was. That's why there's clips
Of
of
course,
ogres
the
as
green
well at the
violence
start.
likes the one getting exiled
I
for
will
being
call out as well
brutal.
one of the abilities has
I
got a
love
very
it.
blurred name. That is because we've
She's
got the
cool.
ability, but we're still in discussions about what the name will be. We will have that ability
Yeah.
up, which we can actually bring up now. So we will very quickly show and maybe chat about some of Taoyan's abilities. One of which shall not be named. It's too merciless for it to be
The
there.
blurred
It's
ability.
too
But I thought it was important
merciless to be
honest.
named.
That's such a cool ability. So
That's funny.
Tyrant's Talon, is that the weapon?
That's the weapon that she wields. Yeah. So again, very good at.
Horrendous wounds inflicted with brutal intentions display the hate delivered in triplicate by the sharpened prongs of Taoyan's great trident. Oh, that's cool. She has a trident. Brutal wounds. The end of one's life is a slight against those owed their debts of vengeance that remain unpaid. No mercy for Cathay's enemies, no redemption for corruption. The road to rebellion always ends with decapitation. Holy shit, she's cool.
Base damage, armor piercing. I mean, she's a ferocious fighter.
Yeah. It isn't. I can see chat saying it's
Choppy,
censored.
choppy.
It's not censored. It's just not decided fully yet. Or
Too
not
hot for
locked in.
Twitch TV, that's
It is. Suggest your own names. Yeah.
Executioner. What's executioner?
Cool.
That's cool.
Then last section we have for Bashiva is we're going to talk about some of the Cathay
She gets stronger the more she fights, and she gets Executioner. Oh yeah, she's a large lord killer. What's Executioner? I'm not familiar. I wish I knew what that did.
tweaks.
Oh, okay, yeah, we can go with those.
I've got a video
A chance
here.
to outright kill a
There's
unit
video,
at
but it's also
25% or
just
lower.
2 screenshots
Holy
that swaps
shit!
between every 15
Insta
seconds.
kill below 20%.
So the first thing here is there's I think 3 of them that we've worked on, but I've only got 2 in the
Why is
video.
this
Only 2
so
were
off
done.
Filter.
Of skill tree updates,
Yep.
refreshes,
Yep.
however we would describe them.
Done a few of those.
Yep.
So we've gone over a bunch of characters. So Astromancer, Gatemaster, Alchemist, and yeah, variety of different things there. So on the Gatemaster, we've now split their line. So they've got a character line now based on melee improvements or range self improvements. I'm trying to think now.
Oh, so they're all up there.
Oh, they're all up
I don't know if you're
Yeah.
you're close enough to see it, but
Yeah, no, I can see that. I'm just trying to reverse back to what I've put down in my notes as well.
I do have that the Alchemist is getting a Sky
Master
Lantern mount.
Gate.
They are. I mean, we've also changed the Sky Lantern as well. So the Sky Lantern in itself is now different. It's now much more of a supportive unit. So it's there to buff and reinforce the armies around it. Kind of being that spotting thing from up on high. Yeah, no, there's lots of stuff to do with that. But you should definitely talk about the tech tree.
Tech tree.
What
I'll
a
wait for the
great transition.
transition. The tech tree is different.
Technology.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, we redid the tech tree from scratch.
Oh,
It's
wow.
funny when we did it. It has the exact same number of technologies and takes the exact same amount of time, purely by chance.
Yep.
But it is from scratch. We really wanted to lean into the yin and yang of it. So each side
Interesting,
now has
okay.
a focus on yin or yang, either in either portion of it, and as it comes to the center, it's more harmony of effects on those central techs. And we've made a separate military and provinces section, so it's a lot easier to navigate and find what you're looking for. One of the things that we had in our mind, though, is like the current tech tree's been out there for so long. We really don't want this to come across as like, a change for change's sake. So we did a really big analysis of everything that was in there before, and give or take a little bit here or there. This is an objective, like it's got all the big ticket items that were there before, plus some extra fun things, and it's just a bit easier to pass. We had some issues with the old tech tree where you'd still be seeing peasant buffs like quite late in, which never really felt like, this isn't capturing the, like, I'm late game now, I want to see the tech tree reflect that.
I see.
So now you can see as you go through the tech tree that it scales with where you're at in your campaign.
I did feel like the yin and yang stuff didn't really. I mean, I didn't get too late game with Cathay, but it didn't really affect me too much. So I wonder if they're gonna make it more important. It sounds like.
You spoke about campaign harmony or harmony. Are there any other changes to like harmony traits or how that's?
There has been some stuff done that with characters.
Yep.
So that that has gone on. The other thing we've also done as well is there was feedback on Terracotta Sentinels not really having enough punch and weight behind them. So we've done an animation metadata pass. So we've been changing that. So now when they're going to charge, they should be much more impactful in like the damage output. And what else have we done? We've changed some of the units on the tierings as well. So like I think it's Long Mars down at tier 4 now. So there's been some balance changes there.
Yeah, we just want to make sure that people can get access to the cool stuff in the roster without waiting too long, while still grading the things that are the big ticket items like the Terracotta Sentinel. They deserve to be up there.
Yeah.
But there was a couple of units where if you compare them to other cultures in the game, you go, well, why does Cathay have to wait so long to see, infantry, which is like a tier 3, tier 3.5 infantry at a tier 5 spot? So we've made some adjustments. We've adjusted the cost of some buildings as well.
I like these changes. I'm excited.
You get it earlier
big Cathay
for no downside. Like, there's been a lot of adjustments to try and improve the flow of the experience for everyone, not just Bashiva.
Fantastic. Then we're going to talk about.
Oh, I want
if
Bashiva
we're
so
all done.
bad. I want her
one
so
more
bad.
thing. Don't forget
can't
with
wait.
Bashiva and the
I want to build
the
and paint a
Tiger Wars, they'll
Bashiva.
facilitate work with the dragons as well. So make sure to check that out as well.
A white tiger's such a cool
also
design.
anyone who wants to snip the little bits of lore, because there's some really cool some lore in those skills. Well then, I'm going to press a button.
That's nice, but when do they update Bretonia? Please.
Are we ready?
Lords of the End Times.
I'm so excited about this
Such
section.
as-
This is the section of stream. I mean, so excited
Such
about.
as the power
So,
of Nagash.
We've all seen on Reddit that there is a very passionate fan who's hoping that right now we're about to reveal a man-sized rat, and we do have something man-sized, and it is a man. So we have here our next Lord of the End Times. Who is this?
It's the guy who I said will have his day.
And he's having his day.
He's definitely having his day, yeah. So Boris Toddbringer, Elector Count of Midland, and yeah.
Toddy?
looks like
He's here.
Toddbringer?
He's finally here, but in here now to be fully playable.
Yep.
So it's really cool to get to that point from the original Warhammer, 10 years later, to now be in that position where, you get a new experience, a new fight with the Empire.
Yeah, like you said, he's
Look
got
at his
a bit of a
beard.
visual glow up as well. His, I think
Literally.
it was like, well, yeah, perfect. It was like 9 years ago they called the Beastman or something like that, where we first brought attention to this character, and he's never had his day until now where he really stands out as the interesting guy that he is.
So I do thank everyone for bearing with us. It's been a while.
We said we'd get there.
Boris is
So
gonna be a
we are going to be
lord.
mostly talking about battle today, as that's more in a stage that I've got videos of, and then we can
Is he wearing a fortress
we'll
on
have
his
some
head?
general campaign questions.
He's wearing a
but
little
mostly,
castle hat.
we will
Well,
have
you can't
battle.
really see. Hold on. Let me move the chat box a little bit. He has a castle on his head. Pretty great. Here we go.
And I said that all of those last videos were great because they weren't filmed by me. You guys are now getting the videos I filmed. So
Brace yourselves.
Yeah.
you've seen him in his Lord selection screen,
there it
and now
is.
you get him
Yes.
in the battle. So Boris Toddbringer with his new model there. So where does Boris start?
Do you want to
He's
take a guess?
cute.
Somewhere in Lustria, I would imagine.
He's not gone quite as far afield. No, he's in Midland.
Yep.
Shocker. Yeah.
Fantastic. And
He's ready
so
to go.
what's the kind of campaign atmosphere you're aiming for Boris?
Well, generally,
he's
as
fighting
Warhammer
Beastmen.
has gone on throughout the trilogy and
Holy-
into Warhammer 3 as well, the Empire's got pretty treacherous. It's quite a dangerous place to be now. And our good
Tim, this guy fought Khazrak one-eyed from the Beastmen. That's why both are missing one eye. Oh, I know my response is very underwhelming, but I don't know who this man is. I don't know much about the Empire, so.
friend Boris, he's sick of
He has
being
a
on
cool
the
hat,
offensive.
though.
He's sick of all these people walking into the Empire and acting like they own the place. So he's going on the offensive now.
I mean, in 3 seconds, there we go.
There we go.
He's
Well,
not,
why
sometimes
would you bring attention to that? Perfect time for vengeance. Now he's going to take the fight to everyone else. So yeah, he'll start in a position where
The fake gasp of surprise. Wow! That's a man. That's cool. Woo! That's shocking.
you'd expect in Midland, and he's going to
What a cool
where Carl
guy.
is trying to unite the Empire. Elspeth is holding off the forces of undeath. Boris is
He's the
much
guy
more
you have to
about
babysit
taking
if you
on
play as
anyone
Carl
and everyone
Franz.
that's in the Empire right now, and anyone that's even thinking about getting the Empire. He's taking the fight to them. No more defensiveness.
That's a bearded
He's
guy.
embodying
It's a
the
dude.
God,
Did the
Ulrich,
thing.
you know, the god of war, winter and wolves, and he's bringing that war with him to all of the foes of the Empire.
He's got his claws out.
Nice.
Well, I don't have the transition statement that I think I do. So what we've got then? So we've got Boris, and we're also going to show off a couple of units here. Then, so the first unit we've got infantry. Do you want to talk about the unit, or do you want to talk about the ability that a lot of Boris's faction will get? Your choice.
I can talk about both. We'll see
They're
what's
two
on the
different
screen.
slides.
There are
So-
two different
all right,
slides.
we'll start off with Crush. So this is
Crush the week.
and this is the ability. that-
So people will know that it's currently on Boris Toddbringer exclusively right now in the live game, but it's being changed slightly because it's not going to be just on Boris. It's going to be on all Ulrican units going forward. Which means it's going to have a few changes.
Duration,
As it stands
infinite,
right now,
infinite?
like this is very much work in progress,
Yep.
and all of these things will be tweaked as they go. Even that image is very much a placeholder image that we've
Oh, the icon's a placeholder that
Yeah,
I put
and-
over another placeholder. So.
yeah. It's double placeholder
Yeah.
right now, but it is very much in progress. But the intent is, we want the Ulrican units to all feel like they've got a clear play style and flavor. Midland's a much more melee-focused Empire culture, and we want to make sure that those units had the ability to actually succeed being this melee-focused faction.
And I think that's what's been really interesting about digging into the pack. Whereas when the Hunts Marshal came in, he brought a lot of kind of frontiers units, right?
Yeah.
And Boris does feel like he's bringing his own flavour there of it's not just Empire Plus. It does feel like a sub-faction within. So we'll show off one of them now.
Go for it.
So who do we have here?
It's the Tutagen Guard.
It is.
It says it on the screen. It's the Tutagen Guard. So
Ooh,
these
I like their
guys are,
weapons.
for the people listen
Hammers?
carefully to my words, and I'm revealing nothing other than the 2 units that we are talking
Those
about
are the only
today.
units we're allowed to reveal, yeah?
Oh, come on.
So where did the Tutagen Guard come from? Well, the
Hammer
Knights of the
Infantry.
White Wolf happen to have several very esteemed nobility within them, and it's based purely on merit. It's not just about station. If you are particularly good Knight of the White Wolf, you might be elevated to the honourable position of the Tutagen Guard, whose duty is to protect Al Ulrich, Emil Algar.
Yeah.
2 completely inconsequential things when we talk about those guys.
Yep.
But that's who the Tutagen Guard are.
They're
What
cool.
they do
I
in
like their
practice is
design.
they're heavily armoured AP units. So we want to push them a little bit sturdier and slightly fewer in number than the Great Swords. So they are on the advanced side of Great Swords in terms of what they do, but a bit more generalist as well. So where Great Swords have, the anti-infantry, they're classic Great Swords. These guys are, bulkier, heavy-hitting,
Heavy weapons.
lower
infantry.
entity. They're kind of like the epitome of Empire's infantry to date so far, and they're going to be a bit harder for other Empire factions to get hold of. But all of the Ulrican units that will be coming will be a bit easier for Toddbringer to get hold of, because of course they should be.
Yeah.
He's Midland.
They're right next to him.
Yeah, he's got them in the back room waiting to come out.
I like
So
the
we do
wolf.
have one other unit to
wolf
show.
power?
Did these guys ever get into combat? Did it loop?
They
I
look
wasn't
cool.
paying
I was
attention.
looking
really
at
cool
you.
design.
I'm hoping that everyone got to see them hitting people. I sat on these.
They're
guys
raring to go.
They
I
are.
recorded
They are.
for
Yeah.
much longer than I thought I did.
There
I
we
mean,
go.
I think people have seen this before, right? You've seen them hitting. I'm looking at the chat. Did anyone else see them hitting?
Look at
or do
them
I have
go!
to vamp for time just so you can
Big
see
ol'
them throwing
swinging.
their hammers?
Swinging hammers.
So we will. No, they didn't see them hitting. I really
Talk
sat on
really
them
slowly.
way too long
Yeah.
recording them in idle then. So we do have one other unit to reveal, and funnily
do.
enough, we saw a Reddit post like a week ago that was, forget all of these units. There's one unit I really hope is part of the Empire pack, and that person is going to be very happy to see.
Orc is the god of winter wolves.
The-
It's the Knights Panther.
It is.
Nice.
Yeah, well, when we
Panther
make
Knights!
a pack that's obviously very themed around like a singular picture,
Whoa.
and given that we're doing Boris
Knights
Toddbringer, the
Panther.
Ulrican units, the Knights Panther also have a chapter house based in Middenheim as well as Talabheim. So we thought, well, we've got to capture all the major knightly orders as much
This
as
is
possible.
cool.
So we've brought in these guys. You can see they've got a bit of anti-large on them already, so they've got a slightly different role from the existing knightly orders that are in the game right now. But
Yeah. I can also tell you,
Anti-large
I'm pretty sure that's the
cavalry.
wrong video because I'm pretty sure their horse armor should be blue.
the horse armor should be blue.
I was going to say that they
I mean,
they
if my
will
hold
be.
on, if my producer double clicks on that video,
I
Yeah.
love the dumb helmets. I
Double-click
love
it,
the
and then you
helmets.
click
They look so
browse.
cool.
yeah. Do you see another one in there called Knights Panther?
blue.
If you go to,
Nice.
if you go,
Knights
if
Panther,
I could just
blue
stand up, I
version.
could do it.
You can
Do you
stand
think
up.
I can just run over and fix the video?
They'll never know.
Hold on, keep vamping.
They'll never
Oh my
know.
god,
Yeah,
look at
yeah.
oh holy shit, they're just getting
Yeah, so they should be blue.
Yeah, berry blue
God
with some gold
dang.
trim.
Yeah, such is the development and progress. Every day things are
Boys are
progressing. And they thought,
flying.
we'll get the most recent version of the Knights Panther to show
Oh,
off.
there we go. There
These
we go.
ones.
That
The
looks
most
better.
recent
Much
version.
better.
I mean, this
Who
was
are they?
updated like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
So that's
So that looks so good.
Magic.
okay. Hopefully,
I don't know, guys. The blue instantly made it better. So much better.
my bum wasn't.
It
on the
looks
stream
really
there.
good.
So these are the Knights Panther. We're gonna have to watch them idle again as we prepare for them to charge.
You love an idol though, Josh,
I
so
do.
we can take our time.
I do.
Sometimes
I
you
sat
lean
there and I
into
was
the
like,
goofy. I
30,
love
30,
it.
40 seconds would do. And I did not know how
I
long
love it.
30, 40 seconds is until I've sat here in the hot seat. So yeah, we got the Knights Panther. I mean, we'll see it in a second. You've probably just seen it before. Their charge is devastating.
Insane.
Lovely in blue, though. I could never imagine seeing them in silver. It looked
That's
cool.
weird. It'd be,
Who would do that?
Exactly.
I like the
But
horse
what, do you know
armor.
what? What I do think
Here
that
we go,
helps to
here we go.
emphasise is everything we're showing
Gonna be
is
massacre.
development in progress. Like this video I took yesterday to replace the one I took the day
Oh
before.
my god.
I like it when he does the boom. That's
crazy.
And that's what we're trying to do. The show and
Holy.
tell. So everything you're seeing is development in
Oh
progress. All
my
of those stats
lord.
could change depending on however Sean's feeling at that moment in time. But yeah, I think I'm just letting them see him fight for a little bit before we move on.
Just keep vamping.
There we go. So what we have now is
These are the guys you cycle charge for big
technically, but not really,
damage.
3 more units.
I love that.
So we
You'll
are
never guess
approaching the end of our end times section, and I really like the Warhammer community rumor engines. So we thought we'd make our own.
Oh, what?
So if you guys are, people may know, they may be able to work out what they are. I did, after some feedback from our talk on Tuesday, I made one of them a little bit harder. I still don't think it's that difficult.
No, it's pretty obvious. I'd say. Well, there's easy, medium, and hard in there for sure.
Yeah. I've made easy slightly harder, but still.
And I think you helped with one of them earlier.
Maybe. I'm giving the game away there, aren't
Maybe.
Rumor engines are
So
silly what's
feel
supposed
free
by
to
the
click
upcoming
these,
or
guess
past
what you think
event.
they'll be.
I'm sure Sotek delved into these. Sotek, what are these? Likely hunting hounds and celestial hurricanum the third. I don't know. I have no idea.
We will eventually come back and show you what they are. I think before we move on to our next bit, which is the thing I am most
One has
excited
fur.
for in the entire stream. I'll just ask from you guys first. When are we going to hear from you next? I know the answer to this if you don't.
you say it and we'll say it at the same time.
June.
It's
I think the
June.
plan at the moment is in June we'll come back. We may do it may be a stream, it may be a video, maybe both. Where we're looking at the moment to maybe talk about some of the free update stuff.
The
that's
right
going
one
on
looks
with.
like a bit like Norska.
So you may be learning this for the first time because we had this
I'm going to
discussion earlier in the week.
pretend I was fully up to date with all this.
So at the moment,
We're ready to go.
fantastic. At the moment, I think the plan is in June we'll come back.
It's all. These are
and
all
talk to
for
you
the
guys about some of
Empire.
the stuff coming
Yeah,
with the
that'd
update.
be cool.
Because we spoke about some of that in December, like some of the devastation. And,
Yes.
I didn't know.
All these updates are happening in June, so nothing for May, and then everything's being
we'll talk a bit
updated
more
again.
comprehensively about some of the stuff you can expect to see there. But I saw it in chat. We do have one last clip for Lords of the End Times. So we have a fantastic voice actor for Boris Toddbringer lined up. You're going to be hearing loads of his voice when you're issuing orders on campaign and in battle. However, when you load into a custom battle, you're going to see that there's 2 Boris Toddbringer voice options. There's the original one, which you know and love, and then there's one more.
Hey, Toddy! Oh, that was great, Tom, but maybe just a little bit less. Bring it down a bit. Shut up, Ben! Feels good. Beautiful. Boris Toddbringer!
Tom.
At pace! None shall live! Oh, I hate Kazrak One-Eye.
That's amazing.
I know we can't. But for me, can we all just have one? It's me, Toddy! Like this one. It never gets used. There it is.
So there we go.
That's so funny.
That has been
Amazing.
one of the hardest secrets to keep, but it is exciting and
I'm using that voice
also, I think
permanently.
we've heard
That's the
recently that
meme
there'll
guy.
be
That's the guy.
some of about 2/3 of the ad-lib lines that Angori Tom gave in the recording studio, and he gave a lot. About 2/3 of them will make it into the game. Some of them
nice.
just a little too hot to handle, but others
Oh no, they're censoring my boy.
others will just about sneak in. So look forward to that, and that will be part coming along with Boris Toddbringer. So we've got all of our information there. More in May on the Tiger Warriors. That's why it says more in May. More in
Bashiva
June
news in May, it
on
says.
the Lords
Oh, yeah, it
of
does.
the End Times. So we have our last game, and then we'll be doing.
I'm back. What did I miss? Tiger Mommy, choke slamming, and teleporting. Empire updates for Lord of the End Times. Boris Toddbringer. Oh yeah, they're gonna update sieging.
Community inbox. I've seen a few people interested in us talking about this one as we've gone through the stream.
Siege updates
So-
after End Times.
Welcome, and you've perfectly sat in the positions that I prepared for.
Seamless, absolutely
Warhammer
seamless.
40K!
So people haven't
Total
seen you
War!
guys in a while. So Dave, we last streamed together 7
Is that the logo? That's my first time seeing it. It looks nice. Looks really good.
years ago.
It was a while.
And Kev, we did do
we
a
did
we
Rome one. Yeah,
we did.
yeah.
So welcome. Welcome to the stream. Welcome
Thank
to
you.
Total Show and Tell.
It's warm in here.
It is very hot.
I don't know how Rich and Sean managed that with the the heavy jumpers.
And the sad thing about that video is we didn't get to say big
David
thank
used
you
to be
to
my
Rich and,
boss.
Rich and Sean for coming on. But I'm sure chat will show them
Rich
appreciation.
and Sean.
So, who are you guys? Dave, starting with you. Who are you and what are you doing on Total Warhammer 40,000?
What are you doing? Who are you? Hiya. Yeah, so I'm David Petrie. I am the battle product owner for Total War. So basically, I look after the when and the what are the features that we're building across all of the super exciting games that we're doing. Of course, with a really big focus at the moment, as you might expect, on Total War Warhammer 40,000. So yeah. Also, massive 40k nerd, so this is this is a dream. Very orc-oriented is how I describe myself.
Yeah,
we don't have to talk about interests or anything. No. Okay, all right, okay, thank God.
No,
it's orcs.
Hello. I'm Kevin. I am the art director on Warhammer 40,000.
Oh, the art director.
I think it's fair to say that I'm a Total War veteran. 26 years making Total War games. So
you were the
far.
man who did the spin in the December video, right?
That's right. Yeah. I'm secretly behind every developer in the studio, just lurking.
Dramatic Kev.
Yeah.
26 years.
So
wow.
the first question I had is a more broad one of how's development going?
Oh.
I'll throw that out to the room.
We're cooking. We're cooking. We're busy away.
Yeah.
There's a lot of passion, a lot of fire. I think to get something really, really awesome done. So yeah.
So I think the team is really actively moving. We're making a ton of progress right now. Battlefields, as far as I'm concerned, are pretty much in the bag, and campaign is making great progress. So
and
it's doing good.
So today we will be showing off one of the spoilers, I guess, but one of the planets, and we'll be showing off 3 battlefield flybys. Just for those at home, what's the level of polish that we'll be seeing on the assets that we share today?
So I'll let Dave speak to the battle stuff. From what we're seeing on campaign, we captured it a few weeks ago. It is, I would say, relatively early, but it's definitely showing the intent of where we want to go visually with the planets.
Oh my God, I'm excited.
So the again, I apologise because I captured the footage for this.
Yeah,
So.
and what we're going to be seeing on those is mostly the background artwork. So on top of that, there's a layer of there's the shroud and the region borders and all this kind of and the user interface, etc., etc. So we're not going to take a look at that today.
So the caveats I had is even the build I got here was from a separate branch. So there wasn't the optimization on there that others have. So caveats I have there's optimization work, a load of optimization. There was no optimization on the planet clip because that was exploratory there. It's work in progress. The camera still having work, and I've written down Too Dark Planet Rear. Which I guess will make sense when we get there. So if you're happy, I'll throw us over to the planet.
Yeah, go for it.
Let's see.
So this is the first look at our intent for what a planet's going to look and feel.
Okay.
So that's a hive waste planet. So we can see the hive cities on there. We've got road connections. We have everything's a bit kind of sickly. You don't really want to go on vacation there with your mom or your kids.
Look at the hive cities sticking up. That looks great.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So this is one of our planet types. Our planets are kind of mix and match. We've got what we call biomes, which is the overall terrain type. So we've got arid biomes, temperate biome, ice biome, waste biome.
Oh, do you see the ships in the back?
And then we also have, on top of the planet, we have different kind of civilizational types.
Okay.
So this is a hive planet. So we can see the hive cities.
It looks so good.
So
it does
obviously
look like
the
a hive
intent is to
planet.
have like a spectrum of world types present, right? And obviously hives classically they've got those hive cities on them, and then the waste that they produce causes a bit of a problem for the rest of the planet, right? But then also we are going to be looking at like frontiers and civilized worlds, etc., which are also sort of mainstay planet types that are within the galaxy. So there's all sorts of different planets with different purpose that the Imperium has constructed. Sometimes lost. Often lost. Sometimes forgotten.
It's really dark on the back.
It takes a long time for that bureaucracy train to work. But so representing all of that is the goal.
I can't wait to run
Just
this
for
at 20
everybody watching the
FPS.
stream,
Oh my
Dave-
God. Okay, look, that looks so cool. Look at the ships. So we're seeing stuff in the orbit. This looks so.
Dave is a designer. I'm an artist. You'll see me like talking about art nonstop, and that's my obsession.
So the question I have then that will maybe hit both of you in a different interpretation is what was the biggest challenge in trying to capture a whole planet?
Yeah.
I can't wait to blow this up.
I mean, it's not just about capturing a planet, because what we're really trying to do here is we're making a planet, we're making a Total War planet, we're making a Warhammer 40,000 planet. So we have to get the confluence of all those different items. This isn't just like planet Earth or Mars or whatever. So we really want to get the feeling that you're playing a Total War game, that there's a familiarity when you're playing it. Also, there's all of the background story with 40K that we need to get in. So our challenge really is getting all those things, and normally that's challenging enough for when we're doing that on a 2D map. Yeah. But now everything's getting wrapped around a ball. So our lives have been made kind of easy, and a lot of our process is very similar to making the 2D maps because of our tool chain that we've developed. So the designers and the coders have got a tool that allows us to place things quite easily, and we don't have to manually go in and do that.
So we promised we'd talk a little bit about scale here then. So I'll ask effectively the same question to you with a different flavour of it. If I'm a player, what is it like to try and capture a whole planet?
So you're going to be fighting through region to region, basically on these continents, with the aim of basically capturing like a key region or a key location within that. And across those conflicts, you're going to be encountering all sorts of different scale of civilization.
Look at the little guy. That's a guy, right? In the middle of the map?
And what's the word?
Perhaps. It looks like
density of the maps, etc. So it gives a really cool opportunity for you to sort of encounter like more desolate, wastelandy places, like you can imagine when you end up fighting on the perimeters of these hives. You're going to have like these wasteland battles effectively that are pretty much empty, right? Like some bits punctuating things, but largely pretty desolate out there, bar a few points of interest. And then of course when you work your way towards and into an actual hive, you're going to be fighting these much more dense, much more sort of like choke point oriented battles. But we'll get into a little bit of that soon, I'm sure.
Then, it's a great idea of then how we're taking a planet. How many planets would be in a system?
A number of planets.
They're not telling us yet.
It could be one.
So it's like you want to take over parts of a planet, take over multiple planets, take over multiple systems. This is huge scale. That's huge.
It could be one. It's possible. It's possible to be one, but that's again strength of the tool set.
I would say it's going to be a handful of planets. It's not going to be like dozens and dozens of planets in the system. So
that makes sense.
Yeah.
How many can you fit in your hand? Fantastic. Then, my last question on this bit before we move on to the battlefields then. What are the next steps? So what they've seen here.
Something finally big enough for Stim. Yay, I can take over systems and planets.
There is a capture from a couple of weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
What are the next steps internally for this planet? Where do you go from here?
So this planet we're kind of done this planet in terms of all the content that we need to make. So like the prototype basic hive waste planet is done. We've got all the components now that feed into our planet making system, so we can make many different
you see the planet in the background?
Versions of this planet, infinite versions. We can also mix this biome, so we can have hive ice planets, hive arid planets, etc. So we've been working through all of the different planet types.
Yeah.
The team is essentially going to be done next week with all the planet types.
Oh,
After
wow.
that,
Okay.
we have been developing the actual systems.
Yeah.
So we have a pretty good. You can see in the background when I talk about the system, we're talking about where all the planets are living, and there's a star, and there's all the nebula and the backdrop. So we have a pretty good basis for that already, but we're going to spend the next month or so with the
ships look so
campaign
cool.
art team focusing on
Just
all that
hanging
stuff.
around
Fantastic.
in orbit.
Then should we talk about some battles?
Let's talk about battles.
So we have 3 maps. So we revealed as part of our announced trailer we had
Like, what's down there? What's that? There's so many things. There's so many things to look
a
at.
hive map, which upper hive delta.
Upper hive plateau.
Oh, so close. So upper hive plateau, and
hive
we did see the
plateau.
community kind of
Upper
saying,
hive
"Oh,
plateau.
that's a lot of things on the map, right?" And when we're doing trailers and stuff, we do try and get there's the most going on. But what I wanted to do in this stream is, because we're talking to the Total War community, right, is to show there's a variety there.
Yeah.
What we don't have, you spoke about like Wastelands, we don't have like the lowest density map here, because those are a bit further in development, still to be developed in that stage. But we do have some medium lows, and then
there's only so much we can talk about in one swing, right?
So when I said earlier that we had all the battle maps in the bag, that wasn't strictly true. We do have two additional maps that we're working on, which are the lowest of the low density.
Whoa!
But look at that. That's exciting. That's really exciting. So
oh shit, we get a fight in Canada.
To speak of this a little bit, basically, like, there's going to be a really, really wide variety of spaces that you can fight in this game, right?
Wow.
Like, you're going to be able to fight in much more dense environments and much more sparse ones. This one is like somewhere towards the bottom half of that sort of sparseness, right? Like, you can see overall you've got enough space on one side there to have an entire conflict, right? You can have two massed armies meet there, 20 units at least between that, having a big conflict on that side of the map. But you could also have it over here on the left hand side, and it will end up being a little bit more sort of like
There's a lot more obstacles, and that makes sense being on a planet. But it's
rat running,
much different than
but the aim is,
flat
again, you've got
planes.
all of these different tactical options and then sort of strategic elements that can come out of it. So one of the really big and exciting things that we're doing here is that destruction now is going to come into play, right? So that forest, if you don't like it, you don't have to keep it, right? So if you find that pesky forest is getting in your way and you can't see around it, then you can get rid of that thing, or you can use it to hide in, right? And you classically use it to sneak things around and move around. So however you want to try and develop and use your units for your strategy, the aim here is to sort of really open up that toolkit for you. So you can do all sorts of really cool and interesting stuff. And again, the firepower is off the
You get to violently invade Quebec. Okay, guys, I may have snow on the ground, but it's not that bad. It's not that bad in Canada.
charts. When we started looking at things like trees, we just went, well, they can't stay there.
Yeah.
Very exciting that you can damage the terrain, though, and change the landscape.
Some of the caveats I'll give for this as well, because I recorded this with a debug camera, so I doubled up the height that we would usually go, just because otherwise it would take me so long to go all the way around the map. There are some missing and unfinished elements. I think I recorded this from a build that was
I did the data models and prototypes for destructible site blockers. That is so cool.
Months old. In the next clip, you'll see there's a few low-res versions of outfield buildings which have already been updated. But otherwise, I think the main thing I'd point out is just it's a debug camera, and I plonked down 20 infantry guard. Just
all the same
in
guy.
the deployment, it's the same unit.
This is huge.
Holy. Infantry squad, sorry. So just so they can see what that looks like in terms of how big these maps are.
No, they're absolutely honking.
So we do have a lot of maps that we're shipping with, and not only that, they're all quite switchable in terms of lighting and biome, and also start pause when you're playing different maps. So it's going to be a lot of options for the player.
Is that the army there?
Absolutely.
I want to see a ship get blown up, and then we can move.
Here it comes. Here it comes.
Is it coming?
But I think another point to make here, and I think I've said this before in different forms, is that you're not always alone, right? Like again, we're fighting on these planets. There is a huge amount of conflict going across the surface of the planet as well, right? It's not you're not just you there, right? So when you show up in these planets, look at that, look at that guy. Do you want to point?
Oh my god,
you?
I'm so excited! I'm so excited. I know it's lame to get excited early, but like this looks amazing. This looks amazing.
Come back.
Okay,
maybe someone spotted.
Maybe someone spotted him. We're going to talk about it in a minute. But you're not alone. Right, so when you arrive on this planet, it might be, depending on the campaign situation, that you're actually going to be joining a fight that might be in conflict. That doesn't mean there's loads of stuff going on, but there will be like a number of small skirmishes potentially happening in the middle of the battlefield before you start. And whether you decide to help or hinder really is down to you, depending on your alignment, I guess, and how much you care about those poor guardsmen and their lives. But you don't have to care, and that's the wonderful thing.
Exactly.
You don't have to care. You can be evil. Yay! Yay, fellow evil players! You don't have to help the infantry. You don't have to care. Amazing.
This is the map from the trailer.
Upper Hive Plateau.
I was trying to, because I think the lighting is automatically set from a pool when you load into a map. I was trying to match the lighting from the trailer, but I loaded it like 6 times and I just gave up.
Yeah, I mean we've got about 40 different lighting setups, so you might be a while to try to find the right one.
Variety is key.
Yeah.
But I think like a thing we found really interesting to develop with was this concept of like dealing with these intense spaces, right? Because obviously there is a lot of complexity to building something that represents a hive world, right? And I think the team have done an absolutely stand-up job. I can't swear, can I?
No.
I really shouldn't swear. Wow, that's hard. They did a really brilliant job, like a flipping brilliant job. You know, really.
This looks amazing.
They
There's
smashed
so
it out
many
of the park in capturing
obstacles.
that. But
Like,
one thing
wow,
that we
so much
found
terrain.
with this universe, right, is that everything is such an incredible scale, right?
Yeah.
That even these intense spaces, when you get down into actually looking at them, are absolutely
My Xbox is gonna disintegrate.
huge, right? There are these massive areas that you can conduct combat within, right? So even when you're dealing with these intense spaces, often actually the spaces you can work through are still pretty sizable, right? Like there was a moment a little while ago, but you try and point at one that down there, just down below the camera. Turn the camera down.
Come on, Josh.
Come on, Josh. You can fit like a sizable army in a lot of these spaces, and then in many of those spaces where things do get tight, there are opportunities to remove buildings and sort of make it a little bit bigger if that's your play style. If you've got an army that really values line of sight, then that can really help you there, because you go, I don't want those. Get rid of them.
And
right?
I think that's been the biggest mental shift in playing is dense maps in other Total War games. It's, well, these are all obstacles I am forced to work around the whole time. But a lot of these buildings I can get rid of. I can make this a lower density map if I want to fight on a lower density map, right?
Yeah.
Oh, we also have some amazing effects with bombardments.
We do, yeah. And again, you got these really powerful tools, right, to be able to sort of like blow apart key parts of the battlefield. Being completely clear, not absolutely everything is destructible, right? Like we've kept it to areas where it really works, it makes sense, and it feels like it can really sort of add to that depth. But I mean, another big part of it is these cover zones, right? Which as we come back round, maybe we'll get to point out our favourite guy. But these cover zones, because again, we are dealing with a universe that's
I'm like looking at it. Where are the units on this map? It's hard to see what it would look like with full armies.
Full of really powerful but flat-firing weapons, right? And so cover becomes incredibly
Left
important.
side plaza.
So a part of the sort of the tactical the tactical tapestry of
You seeing these guys? These are the units? Yes. Huh. It is I wonder how I would have to see like an actual gameplay, how it would play out.
Big cover zone right down there, bottom
It seems
left.
like a lot of splitting your units up
but it
to go
really
through the
can
map.
help the survivability of your weaker units.
assuming.
And something that we really wanted to capture here is that cover really does matter.
It's just a map showcase,
when you've got fragile units that fleshy poor humans that can't take a huge amount of punches or particularly get hit by bolt rounds, right? Like they need somewhere that gives them a bit of rest.
It's about, here we go. If they spot him on the left,
there you go.
middle left. There he is. He's waving.
Oh yeah,
there's a little guy there. So sometimes people stand on ruins. That's neat. But anyway, let's not worry too much now. But yeah, you can end up in these cover to cover fights, right? And at that point, it's about what tools do I have available to me? What can I unstick this situation with? And of course, you've got so many toys here, right? You've got units that can jump over things with jetpacks and land and get into a melee, because melee is a great way to unstick a cover. But you also have
blow
these
up a building that's next to them and drop it on top.
Drop it on them. Yeah, absolutely.
You can probably blow up a building on
if you positioned or have your fleet, in orbit nearby you. Part of that whole tactical and strategic space is stitching together the campaign and the battle, so that having that fleet present with the right things on it, with the right bombardments, with the right assortment of armament, can really help your battle. So if you've loaded it up with a macro cannon and you've got a bunch of really angry space marines ready to jump down, they can appear exactly where you don't, the enemy doesn't want them, right? So there's the really powerful and cool tools to sort of like play with once you start to get into this space. But cool, it looks pretty, doesn't it?
It looks really pretty. It looks really nice.
I don't have to say anything, Dave.
I like the depth
Everybody's
of
just
the
looking at
environment.
it.
Even in
You
the
can't even hear a word
background.
you're saying.
There was listening.
Just before we move off this one, then, I wanted to ask you about deployment zones. So what's different about deployment zones here?
What's different about deployment? Oh, yes. What is different? We want to make sure we have I guess, as many varied ways to play these maps as possible, right? And we have done tricks like this in the past, but we are leaning into it. So with this map, you can fight it north to south, effectively, so like from that direction. You can also fight it east to west, so you can have that deployment on a different, basically, axis.
You can choose.
And we also are going to have assault battles, right, which have these sort of more entrenched positions that we're fighting against. And at that point, you might be defending sort of halfway out into that map, for example. So as a defender, you might be sort of halfway in, and we have all of these different sort of ways and configurations of making sure that the experience does stay fresh on these maps.
Yeah, that's cool.
Keeping it fresh and giving that variety just is super fun.
And speaking of variety, so we've seen a nice map. We've seen what's the biome for this one? Is it waste?
That will be a waste, yeah.
And what we'll show as well is, I think, one of your favourites. This is an arid map. So this isn't an arid map, right? This is a map with arid on it.
That's right, yeah.
So you could play this.
So
map.
this could be all green.
Yeah,
right?
It could be ice.
Yeah, it could be all ice.
Yeah. That's my map. I designed that.
Oh
my god, that's so cool.
So that's how this variety is really getting layered on, right?
Yeah.
So you fight on the same map twice, but one time
Look at
you're
those
fighting
little
on
guys
this
down there,
in an arid
holy.
in this deployment, and the second time it's the opposite deployment.
That's
you're
very
on ice.
cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Put it on ice. Don't put it on ice. We are definitely too hot to be put on ice. But and
these maps
and
are
again,
huge.
I think Conceptual just absolutely loves
These
this
maps
map.
look
I think it's really cool. It really reminds me of like the texture paints that you get to sort of stick on your models, using your Martian iron crust and all that sort of stuff. It brings back memories, basically. But
Looks
and again,
amazing,
this would probably
Good
speak
job.
of like a frontier world, right? So somewhere where things are much more desolate, where civilization that has been built up is kind of like almost stuck to the vestiges of like crashed vessels and whatever the Imperium is.
That just looks really cool. That's a crashed Imperial Corvette, the smallest ship for scale in the midfield.
Slammed down to sort of bunker up around, and you get these really cool and interesting spaces to fight in. And again, sort of looking at those sort of like ledges that you can fire
Has
down
Armageddon
from, again
waste
with these
vibe,
firing,
yeah.
Missiles. The positional play really does matter a lot. Like, so being able to build up multiple ranks of fire from like behind you, in front of you, to the side, you're flanking with your missiles, etc. Like, that is all an important part of that space. So making sure that we have that in the environment.
Wow, look at the little
is
explosions
super
going
key.
on.
Doesn't it look good?
And doesn't it look lovely? I really like the big crash ship.
Yeah.
The big crash
Yeah.
ship is a really good part of the map.
That's really cool.
Yeah. But we do have, just to labour it, we do have the flat map, right? We have the very sort of like desolate empty ones too. We all love them, and they all fit. And that's the brilliant thing, is you just get such an amazing spectrum of different spaces that you can end up fighting in.
This is actually like structurally a classic Total War map type.
For sure.
Basically, if you look at it's a divide into with a few passing
Choke points. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
I like the
Fantastic.
roads.
Well, I only have one more question for you, and I think I'm answering it. Because I am going to ask you, when will we hear from you next? But you're very busy making the game, so I think I know the answer to this, which is we have a few.
You think?
I think we've got a few things planned at the moment of when we're going to show more of Total War Warhammer 40,000. We're still working on exactly which
Look
is
at those
going to
little
come out
guys.
first. So regardless of which it is, by the end of June, you will have heard more about Total War and seen more, not just heard.
That's good.
Cool.
You'll hear more
Good.
about Total War.
Probably from us too.
Probably.
Maybe, I don't know.
Can't get you away. All right, well, thank you very much. I'm going to stick us onto a summary screen, so you are free to sprint out. But thank you so much for coming on. Really
That's a
good
big
to have you.
ship. That's a big ship.
Thank you, everyone.
Look at the units, guys. Look at them. These are little Imperial Guard guys. Look at, oh my god, look how many of the, they look like little ants. There's so many. There's so many. They look really cool. They're just little guys. Glory to the first man to die. That's so many flashlights. So
The
many.
chat for saying thanks to them. All right, we have one more section,
It's amazing.
and you're free to skedaddle.
So more in
We have
June.
one more section,
for
and
40K.
that is our community inbox. So we had a really great reaction to our community inbox last time. We had it its own separate stream. We found that you guys asked a lot of very specific game questions, and that is actually part of what inspired doing the show and tell. Let me reveal. There we go. It is. You're the only one I forgot to put a name tag on as well. So you'll have to introduce
I'm
yourself.
nobody.
But yeah, we had
Nameless
so many questions
worker.
about specific game stuff, and we put them all to you in a bit of a gauntlet. We thought this format's a bit nicer, because then the game teams can answer all of the game questions, and to you we can pose more of the kind of franchise level questions. So welcome back.
Thanks. Glad to be
Been
here.
2-3 months since last
yeah.
year. So we've trawled through your inbox again of people emailing in. There were a lot of emails. There were, when we did the announcement of the stream, then a lot more emails.
Yeah, you guys blew me up. I just kept getting alerts for like 3 solid days.
Exactly. So we have enough in the bank for another one of these in the future.
Yeah.
We're going to ask just a few questions because we're relatively short on time. But there were some questions we saw real trends on. So for those who don't know you, because I don't have a name tag for you, who are you?
I'm Roger. I am the vice president for Total War. Big silly title. Ignore it. I am nobody. Everybody that you've seen so far, they're the real hard workers. They're the ones that make things go.
So we're going to put the harder questions to you then.
That's fine. That's fine.
Hi, Roger.
So we've got, I think, 6 questions to run through, and the first of those is, I saw in the emails you get a lot of suggestions on AI. Either why don't you just do this, or how can't you do that?
Yeah.
So what is the biggest challenge for improving AI?
Yeah, so
There would be a lot of AI questions.
I have answers for this, but I know that as soon as I leave here, all the AI programmers and designers will find me and potentially punch me. AI is lots of various challenges. For one, our game is heavily based in simulation, and so the AI has to do stuff that the players could also do, and therefore our AI has to be really dynamic, and we have like PhD level people who are doing the architecture of our AI in order to make it smart. But the other aspect of AI is that an all-knowing, all-seeing, all-doing AI is not actually fun. In order for the game to be fun, it needs to be both challenging and winnable. Like there has to be the hope of doing it. And an AI theoretically can see everything. So getting the balance between those two things is very, very tough, I'd say.
Yeah, I can imagine you don't want your AI to just like instantly win and crush every single game because they could, right?
The architecting and the designing of the behaviors and those things are probably the most challenging bit, but then there comes the design part, which is how do you make the AI itself feel good, and then how do you make it feel good for as many people as possible.
You have to please a lot of people.
I think it'll be
the
nice
gamers and
hopefully in the
non-gamers
future
like me.
that we have various settings in the game that allow players to take more control over the behaviors they want to see from the AI. I think a lot of
Make the AI hard, but also have it let me win.
people, many people, when they send me questions about AI, it's not hard enough.
Yeah.
And they don't want us to just like, raise HP and raise.
They want it to feel smart.
They want it to feel smart. So hopefully in the future we'll be able to implement more clever things like that.
Can they add, I'm sure people have asked this, can they add like another level of difficulty, like, I don't know, hell mode or something?
Yeah, we did speak about in the Warhammer 3 section.
Super hard AI?
An update that will be coming in 8.1, which is a new, a way of
or they just want
priorities changing.
all
Yeah,
difficulties
all of
to
that
be
kind of stuff
harder.
helps when it's layered on. I should have started with this question because it's super relevant to the actual stream we just did, which is, does working on multiple projects reduce focus? Why don't we...
Basically what he's saying, it's not that easy. Yeah, I don't know anything about AI. I don't know. I don't want the AI to win every time. I would be mad. That's how I rage quit.
We just have everyone in the building working on the same thing?
Well, let's see. It doesn't reduce. Well, that's a nuanced question.
Yeah.
So it reduces focus for me because I have to be everywhere at once. We do have people who are dedicated to various projects. The way the games are made is that games are in various levels of production, and so you don't necessarily need the same people at the beginning as you do in the middle of production or near the end, and that we need to also move everyone. We also, so we have the ability to move people around, helps make our production more efficient. Also, if we were to just a 100% staff, a complete team who could build a thing end to end, what you would have is that you may have places for no one, nowhere to go. They're just sitting there not being able to do work. So we have to find that balance between making sure we have the right number of employees in the building who can always be working and be productive and also not be wasteful, and also have enough projects going at once that we can kind of, release game over game over game. It's the intent that we're trying to release a game every several years. That's the desire for the business. Of course, it has to be good first. So the bottom line is it's not a loss of focus. It's a strategic decision.
Yep.
To manage our people.
That is, I can see people as well. They are understand that I've maybe just given all of the hardball questions to you, and everyone else got, "How are you doing?" And you're getting, "Why are you putting people on the
typical?" Yeah. How's your day going? Why is Total War like this? The AI is designed to play a perfect game in terms of resourcing tasks. Their long-term strategic planning is difficult and computationally expensive to formulate. Having an AI abandon a plan it is in the process of executing over several turns is not very straightforward to present as a logical argument. That's a good point. A good example is how Legendary used to be harder in 2, but it was mostly HP and damage, so most of the faction rosters were basically unusable. Like almost all melee units were useless since they would just lose even against a weaker unit. I see.
So the next question is something that actually I think a lot of our player base will relate to because they themselves have had to go through it. What's the biggest hurdle in getting a new player into Total War?
Oh, interesting.
So our game is really hard. The strategy games in general, but our game is really hard to talk about. It's not. It's if you play a shooter like Call of Duty or something, it's like, well, it's conceptually for people it's easy. You just pick up a gun, you point it, and you fire. Our game has depth and complexity and nuance, and a lot of the joy that you get from playing a strategy game, particularly Total War, is sort of the many hours you play, spend time like manipulating your game in order to appeal to the things that you're interested in, and getting people through that hurdle is a big step. So I mean,
I explain it as moving little guys around on map, and then I win. Yay! Painting map my color. Yippee!
To be fair, I think we've not done a very good job with our onboarding. I mean, we've tried. I think the prologue is probably our best effort for Warhammer 3. But, you know, the secret, the sort of in the industry, the jargon for games is easy to play, hard to master.
Yep.
And we just don't have the easy to play part quite right. So we need to get that part better. And then I think, you know, I do think there are many people who would love strategy games if we just gave it to them in a way that they could more easily absorb it.
But I think what we've looked at is how to make the slope easier without making it easy, right? Without making the game feel easy. How can I get into the games industry? This is a question you get quite a lot.
Oh, how can I get into the game industry?
People find me on LinkedIn and they ask me this question, and I always answer because I think it feels like some big secret. There are multiple ways to get into the industry. There's no clear-cut way. I'll give a few examples, but I'd say probably...
I'm curious, chat, how many are you in the game industry, if you want to say? I know there's some. I agree. The prologue in 3 did a good job of introducing to the first Total War. I played the prologue as well, and it was a good introduction to Total War for the first time. So having some kind of like a tutorial that really spells it out for beginners definitely helped a lot. I felt like it was difficult for me to learn the economy part of Total War. The tutorial helped with the battles and the units and things and the controls and commands, but it's really overwhelming opening up your buildings and being like, how do I get there? What do I need to get that? I think that is the really hard part for me. Almost went into games that I like sleep and getting paid. Yeah, I have programming knowledge, a degree in a week, but not in the industry or anything. I'm a full-time indie game dev, no release yet, in a decade now. I was the UI director for a game once. Ah, that's cool. Would you say I'm in the game industry because I play games? Or is that not the same thing, Chad?
The most important aspect to trying to get in the industry, if you really want to be in the industry, must be a willingness to relocate.
Stolen
Because
valor.
almost certainly where you live, there's not a game studio. Almost certainly.
I'm in the
And if you are brand new to
industry.
the industry and you've never done anything that's relevant, you're probably not going to get a job that's remote.
Yeah.
Because you don't have the skills. You don't have
I also don't get paid much, and I also don't sleep much. We're adjacent.
the thing that needs to be offered to a company to incur the fact that you're farther away. My recommendation for people is QA. QA is always a really great entry point to get in. I know lots of people who've gotten into QA who've had like master's degrees in psychology or mathematics or anything else. Obviously, if you can go, get training to do character art, programming or any of those things, those are obvious ways to get in. But if you're coming into it from effectively nothing, and you want to get into like game designer, those sorts of things, QA really is the secret. And just getting QA job anywhere is better than nowhere. So like even if you're targeting like a really huge studio in order to get a job in your favorite game, just find somewhere that will give you a job. And then the last
That's good advice.
piece of advice, particularly for those that want to do game design, is get into the modding community. Like really,
So
really
many people here from the total modding.
totally. And then my
Really?
whole career, I mean, I've been in the business now for 20 years, and the vast majority of my designer colleagues have all come from modding of some flavor.
I didn't know that.
And when you mod, you get to learn how games are made. You get to
makes
you
sense.
get to then experiment and share it with people and see how people react. Because so much of game design is really trying to understand human behavior and understand what does fun mean.
Yeah.
And if you
Bethesda hires a lot of modders too. They wouldn't let me in, so I ended up a full stack dev instead. Some huge games have come from mods. Imagine your coworker being the OSTIM mod creator.
you can spend time in your own free time learning that, when you do finally get a job and you get people who can mentor you, a lot of the language of understanding game development becomes much easier. But otherwise, QA, number one.
Fantastic, thank you.
QA
I
and
have
modding.
2 more questions for you then, and they're pretty stonky. We see discussion a lot in the emails about where the game's moving. If we should be moving more towards a slower 4X game or a faster arcade game. Is there a franchise level view from you as to what our game's pacing is?
Yeah, so internally there's lots of internal debate about the franchise, me and people on my direct team, to define exactly what Total War is.
It is kind of like a
that's not something
hybrid.
I'm interested in doing, because I want Total War to be what it needs to be for the thing that we're building. So I want to make sure that when we start a project like Med 3, or we start a project like 40,000, when we go into it, we're thinking about the basic structure and the way that Total War games are made.
Hi, Luton.
But I want the game to find itself.
Yeah.
And so, if the game is better to be more arcadey and punchy and fast and zingy, then great. Or if the game is better to be slow and methodical and thoughtful and, crunchy, then that's okay too. I don't want to define a defined franchise direction. But that being said, I do think it's important for the franchise to try to keep finding uniqueness and innovation, and to be exploring all those spaces. So I do think that 40,000 is very different from Med 3. Yeah. They're going to feel very different, despite the fact they're both Total War games, and I think that's a good thing.
Yep. Then my last question for you, unless anything springs to my mind. There's a long-standing complaint that Total War is more fun early game than late game. What are the plans to tackle that?
This comes back to the sort of the question about new.
I guess that's true. Is that like because of a win condition thing? Like once you get all the stuff unlocked, it's like a lot of people tell me you just end when you want to end. There's not really a big thing that happens,
Players in a lot of ways and getting them into the game. I think we have a lot of work to do in order to think about player interactions and design intent and how we create fun experiences in all phases of the game. We have very expert game designers, but I think it's Total War as a franchise is something that has just been built on over and over and over again. Things just keep getting added on and on and on. I think
that is a general problem with strategy games across the board. Yeah, that's like with Civilization. The best part of the game is the first 30 turns when you're exploring and finding cool places to put cities. Yeah, I can see that. Friend has 8K hours into EU, has never won the game. It's just kind of the style
at some
of the
point
game,
we do,
I guess.
and I think right now with Total War Next, we are kind of coming back in some ways to first principles to ask ourselves like the important questions of why do we do this particular thing. A very silly question is like, why do we have unit cards as an example? Well, somebody came up with that decision ages ago. Do we now know why we do that? Is it important that we do that? Well, probably it is important that we do that, but we should be asking all of those questions so that we can then eventually answer this one. One other thing though that's completely unrelated to this about the get into the games industry, if you are an experienced game dev, we do have jobs we are hiring.
I think they were putting a link in the chat.
Yeah,
They're
please,
hiring!
please apply. We've got lots of cool jobs.
Oh, Creative Assembly's hiring. Okay.
That's all of the questions I had from the inbox. Also, I think we have time for. What I will is I will put back the. I'll have to use the 40k one, the summary up. I hope you were able to watch some of it. I don't know, you probably busy doing a job.
No, I watched.
I'm qualified, trust me, bro.
A fantastic amount of stuff that we were able to show. I hope the community watching were able to enjoy it. It's
Imagine getting hired from watching a stream. That'd be a crazy story. If you want to shoot your shot at Creative Assembly, go apply. You never know. You never know. Never know. Okay. Some experience probably required, but you never know. Crazy things happen.
It's a very different vibe we've gone for here. It's show and tell. Let us know what you thought. I've seen a lot of stuff in the chat as we were going up.
I could see you as a producer, Stim. You can project manage, but would I want to do that? No. Would I want to be a producer? Probably not. That doesn't sound fun. It has a high burnout rate. So do VTuber managers. Crazy, right? It's almost like managing's kind of hard and stressful.
If you want another one of these, if you're interested in learning more about these, we've tried to be a bit more prescriptive in the dates and times that we've given. I think sometimes we can get called out as a little bit of coming soon, or it's going to. So we try to be very deliberate in letting you guys know when you'll be able to hear more and put some numbers on things so that you can understand. But otherwise, give us your feedback, give us your thoughts, and thank you so much for tuning in. Roger, thank you so much for coming on and letting me ask you the hardest questions I could find in the emails that were sent to you.
Send harder ones next time. That's okay.
We'll have...
He seems like such a chill guy. Like, he's just a guy. He's just like, yeah, I'm just here. I'm just a guy. I'll do my best to answer your questions. What a nice guy.
A recap blog with a lot of this information perhaps next week. But otherwise, thank you everyone for watching, and we will see you at the next one. I am not going to immediately end the stream like I usually do, because I've managed to wangle getting the end times audio at full volume
Very
as our stream end
for the
music.
vice president of Total War, right?
Fantastic. So thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you to all my guests, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you for the show. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Holy shit, the music is loud. Jesus. He's been managing game devs for years. I'm sure he's gotten used to it. I wonder how he manages his stress. Anyways, that was cool. That was nice. You should see some DE Warframe streams. The CEO gets called an unk, and then they talk about how horny skins are in the game. What? That's very funny. Probably punches the nearest dev on days off. Well, that was really good. I really enjoyed seeing the maps. It was really cool seeing the maps for Total War 40k. I'm very excited. And the planet. Oh my god, it looks amazing. The planet looks amazing. I can't wait. I am so glad that you guys funded the new graphics card for me, because holy shit. That's gonna be intensive, it looks. It's gonna look, might set a few computers on fire, but it's gonna be worth it. It's gonna be worth it. 5070 going through its paces. I'm very excited. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Everything looks so large scale. I can't wait to see some like battle footage. I'm prepared for PNG pack. I'll do whatever I have to stream Total War 40k. We'll just get you the new GPU. I probably need, I think if anything, it might be throttled by my processor, my CPU. Maybe I need to do the dual PC setup one day. I may have to kick the bucket and do that. But very exciting. Exciting. I'm excited. Yay. It was a good show. Also, Tiger Mommy, very exciting. Tiger Men, exciting. All the tigers, yes, we love it. Cathay upgrades, super cool. I can't wait. I'm really happy with what they announced. Like, I don't have complaints really. It was nice to get updates. We got the guy from the Empire that does the things.